Hello there everyone and welcome along to round 5 of the 2015 Super Cup season. We've had 4 excellent rounds of racing so far, and after the rain bucketed down on and off in Portugal, we arrived back at the magnificent Istanbul Park, the 5.3 kilometre circuit which has produced so much wonderful racing here at the league in years gone by. It's given us a wonderful World Sports Series round, it's given us a bit of crashing, but also some wonderful racing in Formula Challenge, and I'm hoping to see a lot more of the racing part of that here today in the Super Cup. My name is James Kirk, here with you as always, and alongside me on cameras is Ben Hackerson, and on co-coms is Mr. Sam Jones. Now Sam, we've seen Super Cup be very, very close in the 4 rounds that we've had so far, usually the top 20 upwards being within a second of each other. A bit more stretched out here though, would you say? We've got people into the 130s, but only a couple of them, a lot in the low 131s, and then there seems to be a bit of a detachment. Would you say Istanbul Circuit's one of those places where the driver really does make the difference more than the setup? Because I know some people that love it, and I know some people that hate it as well.
Hello guys, good afternoon everyone. Yeah, it's great to be here once again alongside you, James. To answer your question though, I think you posed a quite similar question to me earlier in the season. Actually, no, it was last week, wasn't it? It was last week.
2 weeks ago, yeah. Oh yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah, for the World Super Sport.
World Sports Series, yeah.
Yeah, Sports Series, sorry. Don't know where I am. I don't even know what day it is.
No, it's Wednesday. Come on, Sam.
Right, let's do this. So, to answer your question, I think what I could take from experience from yesterday is that people did have quite wide-ranging setups. So you had some people who were running very low downforce, and they were really, taking that benefit down these long straights, especially the back straight, leading down to the final complex of corners. Whereas people like myself were running higher wing, and we were great around the corners, but obviously getting destroyed down the straights and having to just either let the guy through and then try and repass him, or hold on to a position with our dear lives. So you can have quite a different setup here. So it does come down, I think, more to the driver than the setup. As long as you've got a decent base setup, you're going to be there or thereabouts. And then it is just about down to you to just get these quite tight technical corners right, although there's quite a few sweeping ones as well. It's a bit of a different Tilke circuit. It's not all about very slow hairpins. It's got quite a few corners that you can take in a higher gear than you usually would do around one of Tilke's tracks. So it's definitely a bit of a unique one, and one that I definitely like. So I think we will see perhaps a bit of a bigger spread amongst some of the drivers, but still, looking at the times so far today from practice and qualifying so far, I think the top 4 or 5 perhaps might be fairly close together.
Of course, 14 turns at the Istanbul track. Perhaps the most technical and sweeping one is the legendary turn 8, left double, or it's essentially a double left-hander, but is considered as one turn, taken in high gear. Plenty of understeer in the when you're behind the gearbox of a car, but it's beautiful to drive when you've got the good setup on you. Telling you someone who has got a good setup currently is Mr. Sven de Vries, our championship. He was our championship leader until last race. He's currently second in the championship, 6 points behind Ruud Heesterbeek, who's had a brilliant campaign following his poor Australia performance. He's currently up there on a 130.7, been looking strong all week. Behind him, Kevin Siggy, the Austrian, looking good on 131.0. Ruud Heesterbeek, then our championship leader indeed at the moment. In third, also on a 131.0, also on a 131.0, is Emmanuel Gashella. And I want to highlight Gashella for a bit because he's been looking mighty. I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know whether he's just found something in the setup which is just giving him an edge, or I don't know whether he's had more time to knuckle down to get to grips with the car, but he has looked unbelievably good in the last 2 rounds, so much so that he took the fastest lap in both race 1 and race 2 in Portugal last time out. He's up there once again in the top 4. Should we be taking Emmanuel seriously now as a threat to a race win? Because that's the one thing that he has left to do in this series now.
Yeah, it certainly is. He's had a couple of podiums already this year, and he's certainly become one of the consistent top 10 runners of this series. So, and even looking at his pace today, he's looking strong once again. I think he's definitely better in race 2 because he has got the tendency to fall back over a longer distance. Not to the extent that perhaps he used to, but he does still perhaps lose a couple of positions, especially in race 1. I don't know if he just doesn't get his pit strategy just right, or if he just starts to lose concentration near the end of the race. I don't know, but he's definitely improved compared to last year. That's something that I think everyone will agree on, and I think it would be great to see him win a race, whether he can do it or not, because unfortunately he isn't the best of starters.
No.
I think we've pointed that out quite a few times this year because it does seem to be a repeating occurrence. So yeah, if he can improve his starts and not lose about 5 or 6 positions at the start, then he's definitely got a chance.
We're halfway through qualifying now. Your top 10 is De Vries, Siggy, Easterby, Gashella, Wupke, Hoekstra. Now Hoekstra filling in for Christoph Skuri. We've deduced he's a bit of an Istanbul specialist, and the Dutchman looking very strong up there in P5 for only his second Mazurich drive since Australia. Marcel Rauter, the German for Smile Power, also looking very strong. He looked to have pretty good pace last time in Portugal, but it just all seemed to fall away. To be up there in P6 at this early stage is a very good sign for the Smile Power outfit, who is still looking for their first top 10 of the year. Jason Muscat's just had a spin, mind you. Oh, dear me, is that down? I think that's down at turn 5, turn 6, heading up into turn 7. And our Maltese driver, who's third in the championship so far, is going to have to get back to the pits now, unfortunately, since he's lost the front nose cone. We then have Tom van der Voort, who did keep his race win last time out in Portugal, race 2. He's there in P8. Then Jonathan Hoseman, who we had contact with, actually, down there in P9. David Francis rounding out the top 10. I think we'll be a little bit disappointed with that, David, actually, because I know he's got a little bit more pace in the lock of the Croatian. But really, apart from Hoekstra and Rauter, no real major surprises in the top 10 at this current point, though we still have 5.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, certainly it's your typical guys up there right at the moment. Rauter, we have seen pace from him in the past, but he also tends to struggle to kind of convert that into a race result. So it will be interesting to see what he can do today at what looks like his preferred track. I certainly like this track, and I think a lot of drivers find that they either love it or they hate it, and that's why perhaps you do see people that do better here than maybe they would do at other tracks around the calendar. I'm just looking down the field just to see if we've got anyone out of position. I've noticed that David Yunt is once again quite far down. He's currently in 24th, so we'll see if he can improve on that position in Walters Automotive, because he's definitely another top 10 driver, really.
Let's have a look as well. I know Tapper's down there. Matt Richards out of position. You could also say Risto Capit's a bit out of position in P14 as well, considering that he won race 2 at Istanbul Park in World Sports Series. Huh?
Sorry, I thought he was missing a wheel. That's just a bit of a glitch on my screen, so yeah.
No worries. Who's missing a wheel, supposedly?
I thought Capit was, yeah. I think he might have gone back to the pits and got it all sorted out, so he's now got another 4.5 minutes to try and improve on his current position.
And if he crashed, that would explain why he is so far down the order, I guess. Menno Klont again. Now, Menno's been telling me he's got new equipment and everything. He's ready to race, but since Australia, Menno's been nowhere, really. He's been in and around the points, but not much more. Certainly not competing for even a podium, let alone that sort of race win which he took in fine fashion at the first race of the season. Looks a bit lost, really.
Yeah, ever since Australia, he hasn't even posted a top 10, and he had an absolute disaster last time out in Portugal, because he DNF'd and he got an 11th. Not bad. Sorry, no, he didn't. He got a 17th. Okay, it was bad. 17th and a DNF, so yeah, not too good by him. So certainly be looking to improve today, but well, you say he's off the pace, down in 15th, but that's only 0.8 of a second away from the leaders. We've actually got the top 19 in and around 1 second of each other, which is very, very close indeed.
As I see Tom van der Voort there, he's moved up into P3, and he has used up the last of his fuel. He is out of this qualifying session now. So van der Voort up into P3, but his day is done. Marcel Rauter up into P4. Well, this has got to be a Nice. It's going to put a smile on the Smile Power outfit for once. That's an excellent effort from Marcel. He's still got time to go out and maybe do 1 or 2 laps. Heasterbeek just coming in 5th. Gashella there in 6th. Hoekstra now down to 7th. Francis up to 8th. Holmes 9th. And Jason Muscat, after losing his front nose, he's back out there with a new one now. He is rounding out the top 10 as currently. We then got McNaughton, Milim, Jordan, Choda, who does have a penalty. We'll go through the penalties in warm-up though, and then cap it rounding out the top 15. We have 2 minutes to go. It's still Sven de Vries on pole though. Siggy's gotten closer on a 1:30.8, and other people around them have gotten closer as well, as I see Jonathan Holmes there going up into P3, and Kevin Siggy going on to pole, a 1:30.6 essentially. It is a 5.91. Close enough though. He takes pole position by 1.5 tenths. That's a mega effort from the Austrian.
I think suddenly the track has really started to come to life because everyone is improving. The times are all dropping. We've still got the top 19 within a second of each other. That's how unbelievably close it is, and that's how much people are improving. Siggy's stopped on track, it looks like, so I think he's called it a day.
I think he might have run out of fuel as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He
Very,
certainly
very interesting.
won't be able to improve, but it's going to take a real effort to beat that, and I think it's going to come down to the likes of Sven de Vries. I'm not sure if anyone else can really do it at the moment.
Well, Sven de Vries is coming across. Oh, 1:30.407. He weaves in delight, Sven. And I think he's used up all his fuel as well. So Sven de Vries goes on to pole at 1:30.4. Astonishing effort from him. And I mean, that's a huge gap. Look at that, 4 tenths back from Siggy to Jonathan Holmes in P3. Can anyone else improve, I wonder? It's looking very close throughout the rest of the field. 1 minute to go. Our cameraman is pointing out Jason Muscat, currently P3 in the championship. Let's go on board with him now, shall we? Just heading into turn 7 is the Maltese driver. Down there in P11 now, he's been overtaken by McNaughton, who's worked his way up into the top 10, currently residing in 8th. But look how close these times are. It's a matter of hundredths even, so that you can move up. I think 1/10. And Jason Muscat by milliseconds would move up into 8th position. We're heading into turn 9 and turn 10 now onto the massive back-kinked straights. It is 2 straights connected together by what is effectively deemed turn 11. We're rounding that now. And then heading down into the heavy braking zone of turn 12. This last sector is a nightmare if you don't like lower gears. Jason Muscat braking nicely for it, clipping the apex nicely as well. Heading in now, I see Shella's gone up into P3 by, it must be 400ths of a second or something. Muscat rounding the final corner now. He goes across the line. And he does a 1 now, qualifying is over. The checker flag is flying.
Just looking around, I think we might have Router on an improved lap, so we'll see what he can do. He's currently in 6th place and he's coming around the final complex of corners now. He's hooking up the apex as well, so what can he do around this final corner? And he'll come to the start-finish line to post his final time of the day. And he doesn't improve, no. So all that build-up
P6 is still a mighty effort though. I'm worried I might have the internet issues I had in Formula Challenge last time.
Yes.
So if I do have that new area, let's have a look. David Junt's gone up into P13, so a better effort from him. Tapper into 15th as well. Apparently, Gashella's 1.5 tenths off pole position here. So let's go on board with the Romanian now. He's just coming into the last sector. Round he comes now, the final corners, swinging back in himself. Philip Cullen goes into the pits. Around the final corner he comes down. Can Gashella improve? He does by, it's not by enough. And Sven de Vries then, with a mighty effort, takes pole position. He becomes, yeah, he does. He becomes our 5th pole sitter in 5 different P4. And Van der Voort rounds out the top 5.
That is an absolutely incredible session. I wasn't expecting those kind of times to come to light. I'm surprised not only at Jonathan Holmes' pace, because he certainly wasn't looking forward to this race today, but also the pace of Router as well. McNaughton, he's done really well to be up there in the top 10, so good by him. Of course, Woutke Hoistra is enjoying this track as he was yesterday, sorry, and last week in the WSS, so he's looking good here in Istanbul in 10th place as well. And Yunt managed to improve to 13th in the end, Bont down in 16th, and Sandeep Choda got into the top 20. Risto Capit down in 20th place. It's going to be interesting.
He is going to gain position though, because Choda does have a 10th place grid penalty. Who else has a penalty? I know Matt Richards has a 10th place. He'll probably be starting from the back of the grid. Chris Butcher has a 5th place, so he'll be starting from the back of the grid as well. Zyle has a 5th place. He'll be starting back of the grid. So there'll be a number of people who have moved up, and Capit will start my team. But you're absolutely right. That is really off the pace.
I'm surprised about that. I don't know what's going on, whether he just didn't hook up a good lap time, or if he hasn't done any practice, perhaps he just doesn't like this track, I don't know. So it will be interesting to keep an eye on him during the race, but of course he's going to be in that big gaggle of cars where something usually kicks off at the start of the race, so he's got to be super careful here, because Capit is a guy that has a chance in this championship. He's in 5th place at the moment in the championship. And he has been improving as of late after not the best start of the season, it has to be said. So, be interesting to see what he can do.
Let's go through the top 10 in the championship, shall we? So it's Hiestabik on 128, followed De Vries on 122, Van der Voort on 110, Muscat on 93, Capit then about 30 points back on 65 points. Very close below him though, Siggy on 64, Geschella on 63, Jans on 59, Holmes on 58, and Parker on 52, all very close there in the drivers. Not so close in the teams though. Up the top, Walk Racing, after such dominance, are now at the top of the team championship on 193. It was predicted by many that they would take the title in their first year and secure promotion up to the Super League. Much like Adonis Engineering did in their first year. Satellite Racing second on 170, Simcraft third on 167, Wouters in a way back on 105, and it's again quite close then below them. Multiforce on 97, Positive on 74, Storm on 73, and then I guess there's a little bit way back to Enterprise in 8th on 58 points, PB on 49, and Missouri rounding out the top 10 on 47. The only team still yet to score is ST, both of them occupying, or they were going to occupy the last row of the grid, I should say, but for grid penalties. But perhaps let's just focus then on the championship protagonists as they are. I predicted Sven, Muscat, and Rude, Sven, Jason, all three of them to be at the top again. Muscat's actually P4 in the championship, sorry, so contradicting myself. Him, along with Tom van der Voort as well, they're all looking very strong, and that 30-point buffer to Risto, that really speaks volumes to me, as does the 60-point buffer from Simcraft to Wouters. It seems that the top 4 in the drivers and the top 3 in the teams, those are the guys that we're going to have to look to until the end of the season now. Those are our contenders for the ultimate titles at the end of the year.
Yeah, and considering that Jason Muscat actually missed the Spanish round of the season at Catalonia, it's actually quite surprising to see that he's only 35 points off the lead right now. So it would be much closer if he'd competed in every round so far. Of course, Ruud Hiestabik had a double DNF in Australia in the first round, and ever since then he's had a great string of results, really been the best driver in terms of consistency and overall results. So it'd be interesting to see what happens to him today. Again, he's starting further down the grid than we thought he might be. But of course, he's done that before, and he tends to have lightning starts. So that'll be certainly one to watch out for going into turn 1.
Yeah, remember that we do have a reverse grid in race 2 after our 33-lap feature race. Race 2 is going to be 19 laps, and of course has the 6 to 10 reverse grid, which we've all come to know and love. As for getting in touch with us, feel free to post your comments about the race, questions to the drivers, over on Twitter with the hashtag GPVWC Live. We'll try to get to as many of your comments as possible throughout and indeed after the main broadcast is done and dusted. So, 1 minute left of warm-up to go, and everyone just practicing their starts. Sam, who can you see taking checkered flag in first position at the end of these 33 laps?
Well, considering where he came in qualifying, and considering, surprisingly, he only has one win to his name this season, I'm going to have to go for Sven de Vries. I think today is the day where he's going to get his second win, and he's going to really stamp his authority on this championship and say, hey, I'm not out of it, I'm certainly still here, and I can win the races, and I can be the champion.
I'm going to agree with you again. I'm going to say Sven de Vries. I think that he looked very strong here last time, or last year, I should say, in 2014. I'm going to check. I'm going to see who won. Oh, there was no Turkey last year, was there?
We had
what
it
am I talking about?
We had
2013?
pre-season practice here. That was good fun.
Yeah. That was great fun. I'm glad that it's on the calendar, though. I think that's where it deserves to be, because, as I say, it always brings up great racing, no matter who you are, where you are. You might get caught in an unlucky instance like both of us did yesterday, but you never know with these things. Let's have a little look. So Sven joined after Turkey, so in... Oh, it was the round... Oh, Monza, there we go. So 2 races after Turkey. But he's been looking strong all week, Sven. I think that's what we've got to take away from this. He's been topping the timesheets from start to qualifying now. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him take his first win of the year, or second win of the year, I should say. Interesting to see the win tally, though, actually. The 2 Nijo drivers from 2014 dominate it. Easterbeek on 3, Van der Voort on 2, and then you have Klont, De Vries and Muscat each with 1. Are you surprised that Van der Voort isn't up there challenging with Ruud at this point? Especially given that he's got 2 wins to his name.
It's hard to say, really, because he's not always the best in qualifying, is Tom Van der Voort, but he certainly tends to be a guy that will just appear and slowly move up during the race. He might struggle towards the end of his first stint because of the tyres, but then he's always strong in the second stint as well, and I think he's just one of those guys that does make up the positions during the race, so I certainly wouldn't rule him out for this set of races that we're going to have here today. I think Tom will certainly be in the top 5, barring any incidents come the end of race 1.
Right then, so best of luck to all drivers as we head into our first race of the evening.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
Our factor man says his famous words as everybody heads out onto the grid. Just having a look at the redone. So yeah, SD have gained quite a few positions actually from those grid penalties. Matt Richards at the rear of the field, Butcher then ahead of him, and Birdseye and Schroeder ahead of them. So all penalties near the back. Qualifying didn't do them any good. I'm also seeing, yeah, there's 2 prime compound runners here today, Verzile and Butcher. So they're going to go an alternative strategy, and maybe why they qualified so low in the first place. But let us go on board with the person who qualified in first, Mr. Sven de Vries, second in the championship. He heads us off on pole position for Satellite Racing. He's followed off by Kevin Siggy for Positive. The second row is occupied by Emmanuel Gashella for Storm Racing Team and Jonathan Holmes for Twitch Enterprise GP. Following them is Tom Van der Voort for Simcraft Racing, and an all-time highest qualifying position for Smile Power Racing, Marcel Rauter, up there in P6, an epic effort from the German. Ruud Easterbeek, a little bit disappointed, I'd imagine, with P7 for Walk Racing and the lead of the Walk Racing cars as well, which is a very interesting point to make. He's followed by Jason Muscat, 4th in the championship with Multiforce GP. And then rounding out the top 10 is Adrian McNaughton for Storm Racing Team in 9th, and Wupke Hoekstra filling in for Christos Schur at Mazurek Racing. He rounds out the top 10. David Francic is P11 for Wouters Automotive, with Pedro Malim behind him for Simcraft Racing in P12. And then Francic's teammate, David Yunt, he starts P13 for Wouters Automotive, making a nice little sandwich out of the Simcraft ahead of him. For Racing Aces PB, with Howie Tapper starting P15 for Street Fighter Racing Systems. I think that's one of his best qualifyings in a while, actually. Menno Klont, another disappointing qualifying for our first race win of the year. He starts P16 for Satellite. Behind him, Dennis Jordan starts P17 for Smile Power Racing. Adam Rout starts P18 for Racing Aces PB. Risto Capit, and really poor qualifying for the Estonian P19 for Walk Racing. And then we welcome Fernando Guerrero for Positive Sim Racing. I believe he's filling in full-time now for Luis Mesa. After such a strong start to the season, Luis couldn't handle the pressures, unfortunately. Terence Grech starts P21 for Motorsports GP with Sven Schubert, the lead of the TSAs in P22. We then have Nico Barclay, P23 for Twitch Enterprise GP, and Tommy Oyala, the second Street Fighter Racing Systems driver in P24. Then have the two STs of Mark Fuller, followed by Todor Pangev, P25 and P26, and then all with grid penalties. Sandeep Choda, P27 for Fox, followed by his teammate Roy Verzile, also for Fox, but on the Prime Compound tyre, interestingly. Chris Butcher, also on the Prime Compound tyre, starts P29 for Mazurek, and rounding out the rear of the field is Matt Richards for TSA Racing. As I see, we've unfortunately lost Philip Cullen on the formation lap from P14. That is a real shame for the Irishman, who always seems to do well in one race and not so well in another. That therefore promotes Dawi Taprab into 14th and Menno Klontup into the points in P15. But of course, you don't get points in qualifying or on the formation lap. You get it in the race.
Yeah, one last point to make before we start. Watch out for tyres today. They're going to be crucial.
They are indeed. I know some people might have to two-stop. Some might be one-stopping. A bit more open tyre strategy than usual, so watch out for... And we are racing, and it's a... The Vries awful offline. My word, Siggy straight into the lead. Vandervoort second. I think Siggy there in Holmes there in third. Sorry, I'm getting massive lag. Can you call this, Sam?
Yeah, so Siggy leads at the moment. Tom Vandervoort is looking to his outside. Then we've got De Vries, Gaxella, Holmes, Heasterbeek, Rauter, Muscat, Hoekstra and McNaughton. So all the top 10 have had a fairly decent start. At least they're still on the field. Holmes gets a bit loose there, coming out the left-hander, and now he's got Heasterbeek right up his inside. Heasterbeek's going to break about at the same point. He's up the inside. Holmes got very wide, so he loses another position down into 6th place right now, and he's going to have to really look in his rear-view mirrors because he's got Rauter all over the back of him as they go through turn 8 now. A long sweeping left-hand corner, and Holmes is really struggling. Oh, look at the front. We've got Siggy. Yeah, he's got
Siggy up at the front.
All over the
really, he's struggling, isn't he? Good to see Vandervoort, and he's actually, to be fair, I think he got a good go off of turn 10 there, but then we have this rate coupled together by turn 11. So much slipstreaming going on, and Sven, after such a poor start, I think he'll be slightly surprised to see himself back up in P3. Is he going to go for both of them into turn 12? No, he isn't. He's going to go just for Vandervoort. Siggy goes deep, though, and Sven is going to take him around the outside. Oh, Sven de Vries, great racing. And after such a poor lap 1, he's retaken the lead once again. De Vries from Siggy, Vandervoort, Gashella, Heasterbeek, Holmes, Rauter, Muscat, Hoekstra, McNaughton rounding out the top 10 as Siggy goes for the lead into turn 1. And the retakes it. Great racing at the start here.
Yeah, Siggy takes that lead back. He ran so wide in the final complex of corners, but look at him now. He's going to have to defend into turn 3 because here comes Sven de Vries around the outside, and look at the speed that he takes. Gets him right around the outside, takes the position back once again. We are seeing this lead change constantly at the moment. Siggy's certainly not out of it yet. He's still there, but he's got Tom Vandervoort, Gagjera, Heasterbeek and Holmes right behind him.
So close. The top, it must be, yeah, the top 6 all covered by 1.5 seconds. Great close racing in the early stages of Istanbul Park here. Rounding turn 8 we go. So dynamic. As I say, when you're caught up in the back of someone else's car around that corner, the understeer is awful. Everyone taking it nicely though. I see Tom Vandervoort here now, lining up a move for Kevin Siggy into turn 9. He pulls out late though. Gashella almost pushing Vandervoort round turn 9 and 10 there. And there's Heasterbeek in the background looking to capitalise as well. Holmes not too far behind. Rauter still there in P7, starting to fall off the pace I can see. But Sven de Vries, look at him now. Really starting to pull out a lead as Siggy, Vandervoort to Gashella. Surely they're not going to go 3 wide. Gashella trying to take the 2 of them into turn 12. He's mad. And there's a lot of crashing there. Holmes taking advantage of Heasterbeek getting caught up there. He's up into P5. Siggy still P2, Gashella P3, Vandervoort P4. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of damage on all 4 of those guys' cars. That was a bit messy.
Yeah, Gashella really stuck his nose in Siggy there, and he really lost out because of it. And Vandervoort and Heasterbeek unfortunately went into the back of him as well. It was a huge stack up. It was Certainly something that could have knocked a wing off, so they're all very fortunate as Gixela's having to defend once again because here comes Van der Voort around the outside. But nothing is on. Gixela just moves over. Oh, but he's locked up, and surely this is going to give Tom Van der Voort the chance, and he's got through.
That was dodgy from Van der Voort, cutting right across Gishella there. A little bit dodgy on exit though, and Gishella's right back on it now. Gishella's going,
More contact.
And Holmes around the outside, he's been held up by this, and now Heasterbeek's gone through. Dearie me, that was all a bit handcuffs out at these early stages, as Holmes on the inside of Heasterbeek around the outside. I think Holmes is prepared to let that one go. But a bit of fisticuffs between Van der Voort and Gishella there. We know they're both aggressive drivers, but they've got to calm it down now, and already a gap between Van der Voort and Siggy really starting to open up now. What's it, 1.3 seconds in the case of one lap?
Yeah, can you believe that? Oh, Siggy has managed to get away from these guys. He looked like he was in no man's land a lap ago, and these guys have all been scrapping it out. Really, it's been between Tom Van der Voort and Gexcella, as they look like they might go three wide again. Gexcella's on the outside of Van der Voort. He's going to go around the outside and really squeezes Van der Voort into the corner. There's more contact. There's definitely something going on between these two, isn't there?
Oh! The left foot and the right fist, and another left fist again. Got to calm it down, boys. Got to calm it down. As behind, I see Jason Muscat's now caught up onto the back. I saw Jason didn't have the best of starts. He is now onto the back of this battle and dragging with him Rauter, Hoekstra, Malim a little bit separated, Clont up into 11. So a good start from Clont. Sandeep Choda into P13. That's a great start from the Indians so far as well, to be up into the points from the back of the grid. But looking back now at this massive battle for what is essentially the last podium spot, Van der Voort seems to have got a cork on things now. But look at this, the battle stretches back to as far as P11. And yeah, people have to be more careful, because otherwise, I mean, you see how far away Siggy and DeVries are getting now. One wrong move and you lose so much time around this track. It's one where you have to get into a rhythm very quickly, otherwise this happens. The gap between Siggy and Van der Voort currently effectively 3 seconds at this point now.
Yeah, it's great for the top two here, and it's great for us to see this battle for third place, because Tom Van der Voort, again, it looks like he's going to have to defend down this long straight into the final complex of corners. We'll see what happens. He's got a little bit of a gap, but surely Gexella is going to get a good slipstream. He certainly is. So look for Gexella to go to the outside. He does. They're side by side. There's surely going to be more contact here, isn't there? Gexella once again just squeezes Van der Voort into the corner. This time he's got the inside, and he's going to run Van der Voort very wide. Takes the inside for the next corner. Holds him up on the Heasterbeek.
What a great cutback from Heasterbeek. I noticed Holmes and Muscat went into battle as well. Holmes coming out on top on that one. Heasterbeek with a great cutback. Will Van der Voort get him around the outside of turn one though? It's very tight for space around there. But Van der Voort, oh no, he doesn't have it. Ruud Heasterbeek holding on very well there. He takes the position, but now we've got Muscat and Holmes involved in this as well. Oh my word. Oh, and Holmes up the inside.
Yeah,
Van der Voort off.
He hit Van der Voort off there because Van der Voort was very, very dirty and tried to put Holmes onto the grass, and I think Holmes just lost it. So Van der Voort's really paid the price there, and he's dropped down all the way into 12th from that one incident.
Look at that, behind Francic, behind a lot of people, in fact, just ahead of Capit in P13 there. So what this means, Gashella up into P3. I'm looking back at the I'm not sure about that, you know. I think that was 50-50. I think it's 50-50 anyway. Gashella, they're in P3 now. Heasterbeek, P4, all going well for him. Whoopke Hoekstra's been able to take advantage of that scuffle, however. He's up into P6, was up into P6, sorry. Jason Muscat now on the inside, takes him through T9, sorry. That's very nice and all, but it's compromised the exit a bit through turn 10. That said, Holmes hasn't looked good through T9 and T10, and if he picked up damage from that contact with Van der Voort, then that's not going to help him at all. Already going ultra defensive. As ahead, I see Heasterbeek having a go on. Gashella not going to happen. Holmes, he's being mugged down there. And Jason Muscat taking him around the outside. Well, Hoekstra taking him around the outside as well. No one. Holmes now going around the outside. Yeah, I think he's going to have to fall behind for this one. Muscat takes P5 at this point now. Holmes back into P6. He's got to be careful. Rauter, Hoekstra, Malim, Clont, the whole lot of them are behind him.
Yeah, he's certainly running more wing is Holmes because he's struggling down straight. Although, of course, the slipstream will certainly be helping the guys behind him as well. Just to point out that Heasterbeek is actually looking for third right now. He's all over the back of Gakshella. So these two, although they've broken away from the guys behind them after that contact into turn 3 earlier on, they're really battling away hard, and I think this is going to be one that goes on for quite a while.
And all this, of course, helping De Vries and Siggy. The gap between those two, 1 second. If anything, actually, I think Siggy's just holding station a bit. He's not really making much impression on De Vries. But at the same time, he's not falling away. So is perhaps Siggy trying to conserve some tyres to go a bit longer?
He could possibly be doing that. It'd be very wise of him to do that.
Oh, sorry, it's Holmes wide. Sorry, Holmes wide at turn 8. And he's going to lose a whole host of positions. Indeed, yeah, here he comes back on, just ahead of Van der Voort. And Van der Voort gets past. As I say, I think it should be that order, to be honest. It was a 50-50 challenge from drivers, not good from either. So they're now both outside the top 10. And Menno Klont, therefore, up into the top 10. Frančić, Miliman, Router as well. As I see, Heasterbeek's past Gashello already before they even hit turn 12. Heasterbeek onto the podium once again.
Yeah, Melim goes diving up the inside of Frančić, but he quite get there, so he has to slot back in behind Frančić now as he come through the final corner. He's all over the back. There's also Klont and Van der Voort recovering now, also in this battle. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Don't think anyone will make a move into turn 1. It's actually not the best place on the circuit to make an overtake, really,
No.
Which is quite untypical of many racetracks.
Very tight, and we saw an accident, a massive accident in race 2 at Formula Challenge last time from a first corner issue. Thankfully, no first corner issues, and actually, speaking of which, no retirements either as of lap 7. So I know there's been a bit of bashing between certain drivers, but overall, nice good racing as Van der Voort diving up the inside of Menno Klont. That was superly optimistic almost, and surprised that Klont hasn't received any damage from that as we head into turn 8 now. Van der Voort's fallen back into the clutches of Holmes. If anything, Klont now focusing on attacking Van der Voort's teammate Milim, in caught up behind Frančić. Klont looking to the inside, not going to do it. Oh, well, yes he did. Lim tried something, and that will no doubt have caused damage definitely to Frančić. Klont's going to take advantage of that, and he is up P8.
Yeah, he just hit the back there, didn't he? Just got a little bit too deep into the corner and ran up the rear tyre, and unfortunately Melim's got a lot of work to do now as Frančić is up the side of Klont. Klont's now losing out to Van der Voort. Van der Voort's going to try and take them both around the outside, going into this final corner. He's got the inside. What can he do? Oh, Frančić just holds onto it, and this could give Klont a run down the main straight as we come across the start-finish line. Will anyone make a move? No, they all stay single file.
Just giving a shout out to Sandeep Choda from the back of the field. He's up into 12. That is an epic effort from Sandeep Choda, especially given the grip penalty. That's immense. I mean, hats off to him.
Yeah, he didn't compete in Formula Challenge yesterday, did he? And he's certainly looking strong today, though. He's already caught up to Holmes, Klont, Van der Voort, and Frančić, so a top 10 is certainly not out of the question right here for Choda.
Up ahead of him. Look at that, Holmes going deep at turn 7 again. He's given the slip of Frančić, Van der Voort and Klont, who are all very close ahead of him. As I say, I'd be so surprised if Frančić doesn't have damage from that contact with Milim. And indeed, Van der Voort looking very, very fast behind him. Will he look for a move into turn 9? No, he's going to stay put. I think that's usually the safe option, isn't it? Because then you can get into the slipstream for the straight. Though, mind you, now Klont looking to line up a move on Van der Voort. He could go anyway this into turn 12.
Yeah, it certainly can. I'm just looking in front as well because we've got 3 wide here because we've got Muscat, Hoekstra and Router just having to back out there because there was no room left for him. Someone's off the track. I guess that's a back marker. Muscat just holds onto this position around these final few corners. Hoekstra's going to try and get the cut back, but Muscat sits on the apex well and just cuts out any momentum that Hoekstra might have got and holds onto this position.
Hoekstra looking to the inside though. And anything done but a marvellous effort from Hoekstra and Router as well, doing their teams proud in P6 and P7. Looking further back, we've got Choda in 12th, as we said, Junt 13th, Capit 14th, and Jordan making it a double point score for Smart Power in 15th. And then look at this, we've got Matt Richards in P16, followed by approximately everyone.
Yeah, Matt Richards, of course, started in 30th position here, so another good run by him. But he's certainly having to hold off a lot of guys at the moment, and with the track so clear in front of him, he's going to be a sitting duck down the straights surely as well. So it'll be interested to see if he can break into the top 15, which will be a very good result for him, of course.
Not the top 10 of course, which is what you need for a reverse grid.
Yes, exactly.
Talking of which, back up to the top 10, sorry. Van der Voort lining up a move on Francis into turn 9, and Van der Voort diving for it. That's almost like a Nico Rosberg move. And the people who follow my Facebook statuses on just in general will know how I feel about those. Francis at the inside of turn 11, though. He's not letting that one go, is he? And Francis cutting across Van der Voort. This is allowing Klont and Holmes to catch up once again. Francis going to the outside. Van der Voort diving again to the inside. Francis cut off. He's going to try and get the cutback. Nothing doing though. Van der Voort up into P8. All still very close between these 5 drivers though. Choda included. Tell you what, if I was Choda, I'd just stay out of this. Maybe hold back a bit. I can see an accident happening here sooner or later.
Yeah, we've already had quite a few today, haven't we? And it's proving to be a great track for close racing and really kind of nose-to-nose racing, and then being able to get the switch back, because usually if you go into a right-hander, you've got a left-hander coming up straight after it. So that makes it really exciting, as Klont really has to slam on the anchors there, because he nearly ran into Frančić. Luckily, he's got away with it, and they all live to fight another day.
Someone who's not living to fight another day, though, unfortunately, is Todor Pange for ST. Becomes our first retirement of the day on lap 9 of 33. I'm not sure whether that was contact or whether he just gave up the ghost. It looked more like the latter of the options, unfortunately. But the Bulgarian is out of the race early on. Lap 10 of 33, though, we're on now with the leaders. Sven has actually extended his lead to 1.9 seconds, so doing a good job as the American to keep on this lead. Siggy, nice clean race from him so far. En route, Easterbeek behind in P3. And very much the same Emmanuel Gashela in P4. They're just going to want to focus on getting the most out of their tyres now and trying to see whether they can one stop rather than two stop. Muscat 5th. Hoekstra in 6th, now trying to fend off Marcel Rauter into turn 12. Rauter breaks very late and cuts across Hoekstra, but I think he's got it as we head into turns 13 and 14. Yeah, great move from Rauter. Up into P6 for Smile Power. Tom van der Voort holds on to P8 in the battle for that position, further behind with Frančić, Klont, Holmes, and Choda included. Although actually, mind you, Choda's fallen a little bit off the pace of this since then. Risto Capit actually catching up in P13. Jordan 14th, and then David Junt is pitted. David Junt and Matt Richards are in. And what is Junt back onto? Junt is onto the prime tyre, as is Richards. Very early stops for those two.
You think that they might be trying to go to the end on these tyres. I don't know if that's even possible from here. We've still got about 2/3 of the race left to go. So I'm not sure how the tyres can hold up. I think they can certainly do a 2-stopper, or perhaps a slightly longer 1-stop, and then maybe half and half, 50-50. That would certainly be easy to do. So yeah, maybe they can do a 1-stopper from here. It'll be interesting to see, and it'll be interesting to see what their pace is as well.
I was thinking the pit stops would be actually in a couple of laps time, as Frančić goes very wide, turn 9, and holds up Klont on exit. This could give the perfect opportunity for Jonathan Holmes to get a look in. Indeed, he goes to the inside. You don't want to be boxing there, but Holmes getting a lovely exit there, getting a lovely slipstream from the two of them. Does he have the wings, though? I mean, you can see how far he's falling back just in natural slipstream alone. Holmes around the outside of Klont, very close. Klont keeps the inside. Holmes going to stick it down the inside at turn 13, but Klont holds on for the moment as Choda in. And does Capit follow? No, he doesn't. So Choda in as well.
I think it's all the guys that started from the back, isn't it? They've used up their tyres, so they're having to come in maybe slightly earlier than they wanted to. It's not a bad call. They'll certainly get a good cutback if they can get decent laps. I'm not sure how the prime compound tyre is in terms of pace compared to the options, especially these worn options. Looking at the times, Sven de Vries to say it's fastest lap of the race in the last lap, so these tyres still have quite a bit of life left in them yet.
Indeed, and as I say, Siggy, I'd imagine, is Sabing now 2 seconds off. Easterbeek 4.7, he's been about that as well. Gashela 7, must go on his own in 5th then. We've got Hoekstra, Rauter, Van der Voort, who's lost Frančić a bit now. Klont and Holmes in that battle as well. Capit 12th, Jordan 13th, Greg 14th, and McNaughton 15th. They're all in a massive battle with plenty of drivers, too many to count. As I'm looking back up to the front, Sven de Vries, because as I say, I was reckoning that the tyre, or if he's going to pit at all on the options, it would be lap 13 to 15. Of course, it doesn't really matter. Actually, no, for the prime compound tyres, not so sure. Because I know some people who've can maybe do 20 laps. I know some people who can go further to 27. Sven de Vries round again. Regard, who says Siggy, Heasterbeek, Shell and Muscat, Hoekstra, Router, Van der Voort, Francic, Clontan, Holmes as well. But where did he come back out? Choda came back out in P23, so around with David Johnson. I think actually David Johnson's gained positions over the pit stop, but then again he's battling with the prime compound runners of Verzile and Butcher now, so perhaps not the best time to pit for those guys.
Yeah, that's certainly an interesting one to call. I'm just looking through the field. We've actually got a bit of a little bit of spread at the moment. Rouse is still having to really defend. Oh, Van der Voort spun!
Yep, Van der Voort round, and he's collected it up nicely, but I reckon he's going to get taken by Capit here if he doesn't get up to speed. No, indeed. So Capit, he takes advantage of that. He's on to P11. Van der Voort down into P12. His race goes from bad to worse.
Yeah, all that time that he made back up, he's down in 12th, recovered, and got up into 8th position. Now he's got all the work to do once again. He did look like he was starting to struggle on his tyres. I noticed him lighting up the rear about a lap ago, and he's looking up the inside of Capit. It's a very late break in there. Certainly,
he's done that before.
He can get the brakes on, but he's certainly starting to struggle on his tyres. I won't be surprised to see him in at the end of this lap, maybe.
The Simcrafts are one of the worst on tyre wear, but look at that, they're also one of the best in the line. Straight past Capit, it was effortless. Sorry, looking back to the guys who might be pitting. Muscat in, as is Francic. Clont and Holmes go round, and Van der Voort, as we called, he's in as well. So the front runners starting to pit now on lap 14 of 33.
Yeah, those three are in. I'm not surprised to see Capit in at all. Van der Voort in at all. Be interested to see how Muscat does. He's going to come back out the pits. Where is he going to come out? It's going to be quite far down. Looks like he just might be in there, won't he?
Yep, P13.
That's not bad at all. I'm just checking. Adrian McNaughton hasn't pitted yet, so yeah, it looks like he's got out all by himself, really. It'll be interesting to see where everyone else comes out around him then.
Let's have a look. Francic has, I think he's gone now ahead of the main people of Verzile. In fact, Van der Voort's probably the one in the worst position, isn't he? Because he's got Verzile to get past as well, and he's on the prime tyres. I reckon he's going to be going for another 7 laps at least.
Yeah, that's surely going to be the case. Just looking at Siggy, he's actually just done the fastest lap of the race, so Siggy's starting to push now. I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to pit in. He might be just be to use up as much of the tyre as he can before he comes into the pits. He stays out for another lap though, because he's actually gained a bit of ground.
Easterbeek stays out, Gershella stays out, Hoekstra in, Rauter stays out. I know Holmes has gotten past Clont, but Holmes pits, Clont goes round again, Capit in as well. So the very front runners, these top 5 now, thinking that they can go further. So Clont stays, interesting. Interesting. So who's the front of these guys? It must have been Holmes. Oh no, it was Hoekstra, wasn't it? Let's see where Hoekstra comes out.
Well, he's coming down the pits now.
Yeah, Hoekstra comes out behind Muscat. That's not too bad, is it? Not too bad at all. Pretty much
very close to him, actually.
For sure. Holmes, Holmes is right behind Verzile, right on the rear of Francic. As all Verzile causing all sorts of trouble. And I've noticed that Van der Voort's actually lost a lot of time to Verzile as well. So, yeah. I do wonder whether... Oh, of course, yeah, Van der Voort on lots of fuel. Very good shout from our cameraman, Mr. Ben Hackerson. As Verzile, looking up the inside of Francic, he's causing real issues for these back guys, isn't he? As Holmes trying to traverse Verzile now. Oh, I wonder whether these guys have pitted at the wrong time, or whether there was a good time to pit even.
Yeah, they certainly don't have the luxury of F1 drivers being able to know exactly where they're going to come out on the track.
De Vries in, goes round, Heasterbeek in, Gershella in, Routing, and surely Clont's going round again as well. So Siggy and Clont stretching the tyres to the maximum here. Very interesting to see where these guys come out here. We reckon De Vries hit maybe Geschella in the pits, perhaps. Not too sure either way. He's coming out now, De Vries. And he'll be coming out to P3. Goodness me. Came out from the lead, or sorry, came in from the lead, came out on the podium.
That is pure dominance right there. The only guy that's really going to get close to him today is surely going to be Siggy, isn't it? It's the only guy that's really been able to hold a candle to De Vries at the moment, and he's certainly looking strong. It'd be interesting to see what Siggy does now, because he has got the track to himself, and arguably he's actually got the quicker tyre on still, because he's still pumping in very, very quick lap times in the low 31s. This is a big, big moment for Siggy to try and potentially leapfrog Sven De Vries in this next pit stop.
Now it's out fuel. Somebody miscalculated their stint there, didn't they? Let's have a look now to Siggy. See whether he comes in. Surely Siggy and Plont are going to have to come in this lap. I know McNaughton is still out there as well. Yeah, oh, late call for Siggy. But he is in nonetheless, and there's a, 14-second gap back to Klont. So, will Siggy out ahead of Sven De Vries? That's the question. He's onto the prime tyre as expected. Klont now in as well. Siggy coming out. Plenty of time ahead of Klont. Where is De Vries? He's coming round. Oh, he's coming over the home straight now. Oh, it's going to be very close, isn't it? Siggy coming round turn 1. De Vries coming round turn 1. And Siggy's got him! Siggy's got him! He takes the lead of the race from Sven De Vries. Strategy called.
I'm really not surprised about that, to be perfectly honest, because those softer option compound tyres are so strong that they still hold so much pace even at the end of a stint, that they're always going to be faster than the new prime tyres that get put on that are cold, and they're just generally not as fast. So see, he's done the job, he's got the position, but now he's got all the work to do of being able to hold off De Vries, because De Vries is going to be extremely determined to get past Siggy now. I know he wants this win today. This is going to be an almighty battle that's going to be coming off, I'm certain of that.
Yeah, indeed. 1 second the gap. Rudy remains third, Geschella fourth, Muscat still fifth, but Rauter is now right behind him, and McNaughton there still is yet to pit from the option tyre, and is in fact attacking Marcel Rauter on the prime compound tyre. So McNaughton providing a bit of a bother for these guys in the top 5. Hoekstra 8th, Klont 9th. I think Klont's getting a lot of positions from that actually. Much closer to Hoekstra than he was before. Verzile 10th. Now ahead of David Francis. Remember, he's on lower fuel and is yet to use the option tyre. Francis looking for a go, and then once again the 2 men of the hour, Holmes and Van der Voort. I hope these two don't get into contact again, but I think this should be an easy move for Van der Voort, who's got more wings. He breaks later into turn 12, and that should be an easy move. Holmes up the inside into turn 13. It's all very close. Good respect between the two this time around, but Van der Voort's got it, or does he? Holmes gets a great exit off the corner, and I think he might be able to get him into turn 1, perhaps. Van der Voort shuffles into the middle of the track. Van der Voort with 2 wings, though, takes the position. That was good battling from the two this time around. Van der Voort P11, Holmes P12.
Yeah, after all, early race carnage where... actually, Holmes is coming back here, so we'll just hold on. Nope, he's going to stay behind. Yeah, after that early race carnage where really everyone got very fired up because there was some silly racing going on. People were getting really desperate for a position at the earliest opportunity when the race was so long. It looks like things have calmed down now, and we are seeing some great racing coming out of these drivers now. It's always a good final complex of corners where you got left, right, and then another left, so you get a lot of switchbacks and a lot of side-by-side. So good battles, and Tom Van der Voort back into 11th. Let's see how far he can move up now. He's got Verzala ahead of him, who of course is yet to pit, and his tyres will be starting to scream soon, surely.
I want to focus back on the lead, because the gap was 1 second. It's now down to 7 tenths. Sven De Vries is catching Kevin Siggy. And I think the battle for the lead could be ensuing in the next 3 laps or so. Let's see what the gap is as they cross the home finish straight. Oh, it's gone up to 8 tenths actually. So Siggy clawing a bit back there in the final sector, but it's still very close. He's to be 3.7 behind the leader. Geschella then 8.5 behind the leader, and of course you've got Muscat and Rauter battling away for 5 and 6. And Klont has gotten past Hoekstra actually, so Menno Klont up into P7. Berkshire down to P8. Remember, these are crucial positions because 6-10 is what race 2.
Yep, that was an important move by Clunt. It's certainly one of the better races that I've seen him in so far this season. He's looking very, very strong, and he's getting stronger and stronger as the race goes on. And now looking from behind, Van Voort, yep, into 10th position. Zal in 11th, Holmes in 12th. So Van Voort back into the top 10 again. He likes the rear tyres up once again, certainly looking very aggressive. I'm sure he wants to pick up a few more positions here. Be interesting to see what's going to happen. Router is actually quite close to the back of Muscat, so he continues to improve. Does Marcel for Smile Power Racing, and he is right under the back of Muscat now as we come down this back straight, leading on towards turns 12, 13 and 14. And Muscat, look at that, he's right up against the white line. He's already taken his defensive position, and Router's around the outside. He's got a good braking, and he's going to get the inside for turn 13. Muscat, though, of course, always had to slot back in. So Muscat drops down into 6th, and for Smart Power, Router has moved up into 5th position. So that's a really, really strong effort from him so far. Let's hope he can keep it up.
Superhuman. I was having a massive lag spike as well. So you talking across all of that, that was brilliant. Roy Versailles is in on lap 20 of 33, so 20 laps for the option tyre. Should leave 13 laps for, 13 laps for the, 20 laps for the prime tyre. Should leave 13 laps for the option tyre, which Versailles goes on to, along with Chris Butcher, who pits on the same lap. So that's released now the Franchich, Van der Voorts and Holmes of the field. Will be interesting to see where Versailles can come back up to, though. He's out into P21 behind Adam Rouse, who I think has pitted. Yes, he has. But he's gone from option to option. It's very bizarre. I think he might be going for a 2-stop. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Roy Versailles can get back up to, because he's 48 seconds... No, I lie, sorry. 21 seconds... No, 45 seconds. That's the number I wanted. 45 seconds away from the lead. But crucially, he's 15 seconds away from points, which over 13 laps, I think he might be able to get. As David Junt's passed Holmes, in P11 and P12.
Yeah, so Holmes falling back a bit. Oh, Tom Van der Voort's gone wide into the final complex of corners. This is going to give Junt a chance. He's all over the back of him. Tom Van der Voort's just got to shake it off and clean up the tyres and see how he gets an exit coming out the final corner. It's alright, but Junt is right there as well. When you take a look, he's going to have to go to the outside because Tom Van der Voort takes a slightly defensive line and hold on for this position at the moment. We'll see if he can start to pull away again. But Junt, look at that. He's all over the track trying to find a way around. He's got the inside.
Surely.
Yeah.
Very close between the two. Van der Voort on the inside of turn 4 now. Holmes looking for any which way past. I think Junt's got him. Yes, he does. Great move from Junt. Really great move.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's over yet, though, because here comes Tom Van der Voort once again. He's got the inside line this time, but he has to brake a little bit early. Actually, I think Junt just broke really late because he lit up the front right. He really got the smoke pouring out of it there. So Junt up into 10th position now. We'll see if he can hold on to this. As Van der Voort's gone a bit wide. Oh, he's got lucky, though. Oh, Junt's gone wide, and he's hit the sleeping policeman. Oh, and he's spun!
My word! Oh! That was almost a massive accident. That could have been massive, and amazingly, despite that, Junt is still in 12th. Astonishing.
Yeah, fortunately, it didn't look like it affected him too much. Muscat's actually got back up into 5th place while this has been going on as well. So he's still having a great battle. It certainly seems to be a case of you can pass someone, but it's not easy to get away from them, especially with these long straights that you can just reel people back in again. And that's creating some great battling here. The
Junt has come into the pits. He's gone to the option. He's 2-stopping. Very interesting strategy from David Junt here, as Fernando Guerrero becomes our third retirement of the day, the debutant for Positive. But that's very interesting. He's come out behind Roy Bazile even.
Yeah, he's going to be about 45 seconds, no, more than 45 seconds off the lead.
Going to be about 46, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's got about 12 seconds to get even back into the points, and considering that we've only got 11 laps left in this race, that is not going to be an easy achievement at all. He's really going to have to get his foot down and not make any mistakes. Of course, the pace will improve as the run goes on compared to those in front of him as well. So it's not out of the question, but it's going to be very difficult, and he might struggle to hold on to it. As Frančić now in 7th position is having to defend from Menno Klont coming down the long back straight. Frančić holds onto the position. Klont didn't actually bother making a challenge at the end. He was a little bit too far away, so he just holds on.
Sorry, he's behind. Holmes van der Voort is, what's this, part 11? Is Holmes going to get him around the outside of turn 14? Surely not, no.
No, he went a bit too wide there.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ben. I was keeping an eye on the timings. It's time to focus on the main event. Sven de Vries is within aim, or is within homing range of Kevin Siggy now. Game on, Mr. Jones.
It certainly is. This is what we've been waiting for, isn't it? I think every other battle on track is going to have to take a back seat now, because Siggy has got his mirrors full of Sven de Vries. And Sven de Vries is looking very, very racy indeed. He's into the high 31s, whereas Siggy himself is doing the low 32s. So certainly a couple of attempts difference between the two drivers. De Vries is going to have a slipstream now down the straight around this kink of turn 11. So it'll be interesting to see what De Vries' wings are like. He's not got the best top speed overall, but he's certainly having a look around the outside. He's broken late and he's gone around the outside, and this could be it already, because he's going to get the inside for turn 13, but Siggy's going to have the inside again for turn 14. Can De Vries get on the power? Oh, he can just about. It's going to be side by side into one, isn't it?
That was mighty traction off the final corner from that angle from Kevin Siggy. And astonishing as Sven de Vries dives to the inside of turn 1. Very definitive. Siggy left nowhere to go. He's got the inside though. Great racing from these two so far, as up the hill we go now to turn 3. Kevin Siggy with the lower wing setup, able to hold on, but just about. The warning shot has been well and truly fired. It's time for Sven de Vries to reload and have another go into turn 5 there. He can't do it, but he's having a look very quickly. You can tell he wants to get this move done and dusted.
Yeah, it's really quite challenging here, because any slight mistake and that'll surely be raced over for Siggy, because I think once De Vries does get back into the lead, it'll be very hard to crack, and that's what Siggy's keeping in mind. So he's going to be playing ultra defensive all the way around this track. I don't think De Vries will try here into the chicane. He won't bother. He'll just get a good run, because it's very fast and sweeping corner, and just try and line up Siggy for another run down this back straight. But of course, he's not running the lowest wings, because De Vries never does do that, does he? He always runs quite high wings, so it's going to have to be a move under braking.
Let's have a look now. As Kevin Siggy stays on the inside, De Vries is going to go around the outside though. He has the inside of turn 13, but Siggy's going to try and do the same thing which he did a lap ago. Takes the tighter line, gets on the power, and that's a great defensive line once again from Kevin Siggy. But perhaps one extra element which we have failed to take into account is that car in black behind, Ruud Heesterbeek. He has gone from 3.5 seconds off the lead to 2.8 in the space of a lap. The Dutchman is flying.
Yeah, well, the point is that the top two, battling as they are actually dropping about a second per lap on their own lap time. So, of course, Heesterbeek is actually gaining a second every single lap just by pumping in a low 32. He's not even having to, well, of course he's pushing very hard and it's still a very good lap time, but he's not having to do anything extra spectacular. And that's going to surely bring it into a three-horse race if Siggy can continue to do the stellar effort of defending from Sven de Vries. De Vries is going to have to try and do something new, because he can't keep going to the outside. It's not going to work, because it hasn't so far. And he's either got to wait for a mistake or pick it up the inside.
9 and 10 we go once again. It is lap 25 of 33, I remind the audience at home. Essentially 7.5 laps to go, I would say, from the end, as we now come to turn 12 once again. This time Sven de Vries actually didn't have that good a slipstream, and so Kevin Siggy will have not as much trouble defending through this first gear complex as before. I'm just wondering whether Kevin Siggy, by preserving his option tyres, has a little bit of extra in the bank for these prime tyres now. I mean, if it was the same drivers on paper, then it'd be one extra lap worth of really attacking hard on these primes. But I just wonder whether De Vries is using up his tyres too much early on already.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Just Melin getting on the inside of Dennis Jordan and gets a position, so he's back up into 12th. Only position behind his Simcraft Racing teammate, who's actually battling with Holmes still. That's all still kicking off, as Holmes is surely going to lose a position there. Yeah, Tom van der Voort back through. So that battle continues to rage on, and it's a great battle. It's a shame we can't stick with it, though, because the leaders are where it's at. And yeah, I think the Kevin Siggy of last year wouldn't have been able to preserve his tyres and run a race like he has done. He's certainly done a great job. It's been a very calm and measured job that he's done today. And I don't think Kevin Siggy last year would have done this at all. And that's really showing his maturity over the winter and into the first half of this new season. And of course, yep, he's got one less lap. Well, he's got one lap fresher tyres, should I say, on these prime compounds. So that's certainly going to be a benefit. And of course, he's run out in the clean air. He has had to put up with the dirty air of any car in front, which is also an added bonus. And De Vries, the more he attacks, the more, you know, kind of crazy lines that he has to take to get past Siggy, it's going to hurt his tyres more and more. I think De Vries might have just had to cool his tyres down a little bit, because he's certainly starting to come back now. I think the gap has closed up a little bit more, so we could see a battle towards the end of this lap.
And they're both losing Heastick as well, crucially. The gap now back up to 3.5 seconds from the leader. Also, big battle for 5th still raging on. Marcel Router back into that P5 ahead of Jason Muscat. Behind them, another great two-way battle going on between David Francic and Menno Klont. Francic desperately holding off Menno Klont here for what is effectively P7, the middle of the reverse grid potential slots. Then we got Hoekstra on his own in P9. I saw that there was further contact between Holmes and Van der Voort. Holmes a little bit zealous on the inside of a couple of corners, hence why, and he's going very wide there as Holmes. I wonder whether he's received damage from his efforts there. Malim 12th, Jordan 13th. And then our points currently rounded off by Capit in 14th and McNaughton in 15th. Which means that Adam Rouse is, I think Adam Rouse has pitted from P14 down to P22. And where's David John? David John's back up into P18 along with Roy Verzeil now in P17. Catching Nico Barclay hand over fist. So there might still be points in it for Verzeil and Junt if they're lucky.
Yeah, I think McNaughton's not too far down the road either, so I won't be surprised if they caught up with him, as he's on the prime compound tyres instead of the options. That's certainly going to be a case, and the leaders still about 2 tenths separating them, and still De Vries just looks on really. He hasn't quite been able to get up to Siggy. His slightly higher wings are certainly not helping him here, but the both of them are setting very quick lap times. They're in the high 31s constantly for the past 3 laps, and no one on the track can really match that at the moment, and that's why we're seeing Heasterbeek drop further and further back. So even though they're still technically in a battle, they're still lighting up the lap times.
Yeah, indeed. But there's now the question of time for Sven. Lap 28 of 33, 5 laps to go, or 5.5, or whatever. 5 laps to go or so. When do you start attacking again? If you can attack again, because it could be too late already.
I think the problem that De Vries might have is that I think if he got past Siggy and Siggy held onto the back of him, I think we come round here where we are right now, out of the chicane and down the straight, and I think Siggy would just overtake him once again, as long as he stayed within a couple of attempts of De Vries. So De Vries is now going to look like he's going to attack because Siggy's gun defensive, so De Vries goes to the outside, and he's going to be late on the brakes again. We've seen this move 3 times before, and I think this time he might have actually done it because he's pretty much cleared Siggy and he's got the car ahead. So Siggy's going to have to get a wide line, take the cutback, get the exit right, but he got a bit of a wiggle, didn't he? And that's cost him, but he's still got a chance into 1.
De Vries goes defensive already, and oh wow! Both go wide. That was poor from Siggy, but he's let De Vries have the corner. Good man. That's going to lose them time to Heespeak, but thankfully, I think that was them acknowledging. Yeah, that's so good to see. I'm sure that was just an acknowledgement from both drivers. Look, Siggy made a mistake. My bad. I've let you have the position, and they're straight back into battling. That's got to be one of the best sportsmanship moments of this year, which I've seen. Brilliant from both drivers.
I'm thinking though that was a heavy impact. That wasn't just a light tap.
No.
And I think that there could be damage quite severely on De Vries's car. And this is really going to open it up now for not only Siggy but Heespeak as well. They're both going to be there surely, because I think De Vries is struggling at what I've seen over the last half a lap. He certainly looks like he's struggling, and he's taking a weird line, isn't he? Took a weird line into the chicane there, brought it back to the racing line before the corner, but I don't think he's quite happy with the car at the moment.
Yeah, look at him. I don't know whether he's going ultra I'm not sure whether he's trying to break toe though, Ben. I'm just wondering whether he's trying to figure out the balance of his car now. I think it was more a side pod impact, wasn't it, than anything. And I know that can affect the balance of the car, but it's not exactly one of the most crucial components.
Yeah, it's just whether he got any rear wing damage as well, because of course, you know, the damage can pop up all over the place on these cars. It'll be interesting to see what happens. He got away from Siggy, as Heespeak is getting here right now, but Siggy was so much faster down the straight that if Siggy was closer coming out that final chicane, the chicane before the final complex of corners, then Siggy is surely going to repass De Vries.
One would think so, wouldn't you? Still a close battle here on lap 30 of 33. Sven De Vries leads his margin about a car's width, I'd say, from Kevin Siggy actually. As we've got traffic now to encounter in the form of Mark Fuller up ahead, the sole ST left in the race. Siggy trying to stay on the tail of De Vries, and at the same time both these drivers trying to run away once again from the ever-present Ruud Heespeak, who's going to pick up his podium positions. It's a great fact, or it's a great stat for Ruud that though he retired in the first 2 races of the year, after that he has not finished outside the top 4 at all. And if you continue this run here, and very smart from De Vries there, using the toe of Mark Fuller to try and stay ahead, and that's worked to some degree. Good back marking from Fuller, of course, to stay out the way. And both drivers go through nicely, and I think that Ruud has made a massive mistake, because he is now, how far is he off the pace? He's now 2.3 off. He's lost about a second in that one lap. 1 sector even.
Yeah, let's have a look here. Ooh, it's middle sector that he dropped a full second. That's where all of his time has gone, so definitely a mistake in the middle sector. Didn't catch it on my screen, but I wouldn't be surprised if he just lit up the tyres, perhaps coming out of a corner, possibly in the excitement, because he saw that a win was certainly on the cards from his position.
Indeed. The lap 31 and 32 here. No, lap 31 and 33 here, I should say. Oh, and we got 2 3/4 lap to go. Sven De Vries, I feel, is starting to struggle, and you can see Siggy just cranking up the pressure ever more now. They are losing Heespeak now. I feel his tyres have gone. Gisela's nowhere really, so it is really between Siggy and De Vries, unless an accident happens between either of these two for the race win. It's going to be very close until the end. Siggy with the better wings. Let's see what he can do here as we head down the back straight once again. Through turn 11 we go. Siggy tucks up nicely in the slipstream of De Vries. He's closing. He goes to the outside now. The two side by side, possibly clashing wheels on the straight there. De Vries desperately going wide. Siggy gets the cutback. Siggy around the outside of turn 13, on the inside of turn 14, and he's got the move done. Oh, what excellent racing we have up here at the front once again at Istanbul Park, Will send De Vries though. Have a look into turn one. He breaks very late. Siggy around the outside to hold on. Just about cared, Siggy. Hats off to you, sir. What a great move.
That might just be the move of the race to win the race, because I think with the way De Vries is running at the moment, and of course he's got higher wings as well, I think he's going to really struggle to get back past Siggy. So this is really, really important for Siggy now. He just needs to be able to gap De Vries just a little bit, just so De Vries falls out that crucial slipstream area, and Siggy could have this win right here. Easterbeek is starting to reel both of them back in, but not anywhere near quick enough to really make an effect on this lead battle right now. And Siggy, oh look at that, he's running so wide coming through turn 8, he's really pushing the car to the limit, and De Vries is still there, he's right behind Siggy, but he's going to hold it, look, through the chicane. He doesn't want to make the move yet, he wants to wait until we get onto this straight now, and he's still there, he's very, very close. It's only 2/10 between them, and it looks like it's less than that, only 1.5 now, and here comes De Vries, he's got the slipstream. Siggy's already taken his defensive position. Sven De Vries around the outside, he's going to have to brake late once again. We've seen this done before, but this time he hasn't been able to clear Siggy. Siggy's still on the outside of him, and he'll now be on the inside for the final turn 14.
Oh.
But look at De Vries's, wow, De Vries's momentum through turn 14. He took it so well, he's taken the lead, but now he's got to defend into turn 1.
I think Siggy went slightly wide out of turn 13, and De Vries has the lead. Final lap of the race. Ruud Easterbeek ever closing there in P3. It is all or nothing for Siggy and De Vries though. And Siggy on the inside of turn 3, he's going to take every opportunity he can get now. Any sniff of the gap, he will take around the outside of turn 4, goes to the Austrian. Will he take a dive into turn 5? He's going to have a look, isn't he? De Vries gives him plenty of room, but he also has plenty of traction, does the American, around the outside, holds on. As we head up into turn 7, we see so many drivers going wide here in battle. Siggy trying to go around the outside of turn 7, that never works. And he's going to have to hold in just a little bit now as we head up to turn 8. The two drivers side by side up into turn 8. Kevin Siggy on the inside, they're going side by side through turn 8. Incredible stuff. De Vries just about holding on now as we exit turn 8 on the run down to turn 9. Sven De Vries going ultra defensive, as was to be expected. Into turn 9 we go now. Siggy holding back in, you can see it now. He knows this is his best opportunity to win the race. It is all or nothing here. Round turn 11 we go. The Austrian getting it, he's faster from the outside. And Sven De Vries now. Ruud Easterbeek, he's too far away unless the two come into contact. Siggy ahead on the straight. Can he get him around the outside? No, he can't. De Vries goes wide. De Vries goes wide, and I think that might be it unless Kevin Siggy has a dive. Oh, look how defensive De Vries is. Kevin Siggy almost pushing De Vries around the outside the corner, but it is eventually Sven De Vries by 1/10 of a second, providing the best battle of the year, period. He takes his second race win of the year. Kevin Siggy second. Ruud Easterbeek only 7/10 away in the end third. Geschella fourth. Round the final corner comes Marcel Rauter, P5 for Smile Power. What an excellent result for them there. Jason Muscat P6, David Franch 7th, Manu Klon 8th, Wupke Hoekstra 9th, Tom van der Voort 10th, Pedro Mellin coming home in 11th, Dennis Jordan 12th. I'm sure Holmes has got damage because he comes home in P13. David Yunt did score points actually after that two-stop strategy in P14, and Risto Capit will take the final point in P15. What a race that was.
That was truly incredible. De Vries is celebrating so much, and I'm not surprised because he has admitted that his rear wing was badly damaged from that contact with Siggy, so he was certainly the wounded car, limping around the track effectively, and yet battling on like a true soldier. And wow, that was just absolutely incredible. De Vries just held his own, kept defensive line going into the final 3 corners, and Siggy crucially made a mistake going between turn 12 turn 13, and he lost all that gap that he had between himself and De Vries, fell back. He could have stuck it up the inside into 14, but there surely would have been an almighty crash, and luckily they both get around the final corner and De Vries won the race. But hats off to both drivers because that was a truly incredible final lap.
Kevin Siggy saying, this is what a battle looks like. And I would agree with you. As I say, you won't see a battle. You won't see a better battle all year. Two drivers at the peak of their powers. I mean, it's difficult to imagine myself going side by side with anyone through turn 8, but yet they managed to do it. Their battling was clean apart from that slight mistake from Siggy, but again, great sportsmanship from the both of them. They both congratulated each other on a great battle, and that was amazing. Amazing. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And we've got another race to go, of course, with the reverse grid contestants. It could be Muscat, could be Francis, could be Clogby, Hooks, could be Van der Voort on ball. They're all potential race winners, I would think, if they're in the right position.
Yeah, who knows what's going to be pulled out of the bag. It's certainly going to make an amazing race with any of those drivers. And then, of course, we're going to have the big three, De Vries, Siggy and Heasterbeek, that have absolutely blown the field away today. Heasterbeek not so much, certainly the top two. And we'll see what they can do coming through the field. And also the big question will be the tyres. Can you do the race on the option compounds? I'm thinking potentially not. It might have to be primes or a option stop, one stop race. But even then, I don't think that would work. I think it's going to be a prime
never
race.
Think that will work. You never think the options will work.
Until it works, I just won't believe in it.
We shall wait and see. Let's have a look at how Twitter exploded with excitement on that one. Oh, what a surprise. Oh no, I've got a notification. Might be from my mum, you never know. Of course, apologies for my internet issues throughout that race. I am going to be earning money and buying myself a new router. Zurich Racing kind of lagging, yeah. I must apologise. I will, in future, try and sort out a better router. Mine's very old now, and you can tell it's going because it can't support R-Factor anymore. It's why I retired yesterday. But there we are anyway. Wonderful racing from most around, and no major accidents as well. That's a positive.
There was
Full retirements as well.
There was a few big hits, but yeah, no one really had to retire because of those big hits, which was good to see. I think there's going to be a few choice words between some people. People certainly won't be happy.
It's worth saying about Holmes Van der Voort. I mean, as I said, I had a look back. I think the big one was up at turn 3, wasn't it? When there was a clash between them on the top of the hill. I think that was 50-50. I wouldn't say that was like completely Van der Voort's fault, of course. Yet, do you reckon that's actually a legacy of what happened last time out in Portugal? Because we saw a similar thing with Siggy Frančić last year. Two drivers got in a big incident, and then whenever they were on track together, they started just being petty with each other, you know, and it wasn't like one was worse than the other. They were both as bad as each other. Have you ever had this sort of incident where you've had, like, zeroed in on one driver and thought, I'm giving no space for you at all? Or do you really think it's just, you know, it's sim racing, it happens, you got to get over it? Because, as I say, I think both of them, I think Van der Voort, he had his bad moments. I think, to be fair, Holmes had more bad moments this race than Van der Voort. It's not what we want to see, really.
No, it's certainly not something we want to see. It might all be water under the bridge. We might have this race, and it might all be clean between particular drivers. Who knows what they're thinking? I'm just.
Oh well. Yeah, sorry, we're having a look at it. Reverse number 9.
Oh, nice. Who's in 9?
It's Hoekstra on pole.
Oh, that's going to be great because Hoekstra is certainly quick in the first few laps, and that's going to be interesting to see. I hope he has a good start and see if he can defend from those behind him. And yeah, look at all the drivers that we're going to have as well. We're going to have plenty of drivers that are really going to have to defend. And considering the pace differential between some of them, at least in the first race, it could be an absolutely monumental battle to try and get through the slower drivers up front. There, of course, are still very quick drivers. But for the likes of De Vries, CE and Heasterbeek, they'll want to get through them as quickly as possible. And see what also Gagella can do as well. He's become a bit of a race 2 specialist this season, so it'll be interesting to see his kind of pace.
just making sure that there's nothing kicking off before it does. Anyway, so we got Hoekstra on pole. Looking good. Looking very good, especially from Zurich Racing. It poses an interesting dilemma for Hoekstra, though, because he does well in Formula Challenge. And I know that Istanbul's a good track for him. But would you say that it might be worth thinking to come up to Supercup at this early stage? Especially if he gets a podium here? Because surely there's that thought of, oh, I'm doing quite well in this series, which is regarded as better. I don't know.
Who are you talking about, sorry?
Hoekstra.
All right,
I'm saying
yes,
he did.
yes.
He's done over well at Istanbul, you could say. He's done better than most other circuits. But if he gets a podium here, because he has a chance to from pole position.
Yeah, I think he's still perhaps a little bit too inconsistent. He's certainly got the pace for Super Cup, at least around this track anyway. I think he's a bit inconsistent around a few tracks, but of course, he didn't really run last year, did he? I don't think he did that much running in any of the career ladder leagues, if I remember rightly. I'm sure you're looking away on the wiki right now whilst I talk, because I'm sure that's pretty much what I remember. I had a good conversation with him on GPVWC day, and he was certainly looking forward to this season, this year, getting back into it and giving it his all. And I think he's certainly one of these people that will put the hours in, put the effort in, and he's certainly reaping the rewards for that as well, and really impressing, certainly turning a few heads.
A chance to shine. But will he shine enough to take the win, Sam? That's what I'm going to ask you next.
I'm going to say no. I don't think he will, in all honesty. I think, unfortunately, that there's some drivers in the field today that are looking pretty quick, and I think they're going to come through and really give it their all to win the race. It's hard to really say, because I think wings are playing such an important part here, and I have a feeling that Sven de Vries isn't going to be able to get through into first, just because he's going to have a bit of an issue getting past drivers going down the main straights, and that's going to be a problem. So I think it's a hard one today, because I want to go with someone like Gakshela, because I really want to see that happen, but I think Easterbeek might take a race 2 win. I think he's going to be the man that gets a good start and takes a win here in race 2 and continues his fine form for walk racing.
I'm actually going to have a little punt, and I'm going to say Muscat. Just because I think he's good. I think he's doing very well. I think he's in the right position, right place, right time.
And of course, he already has a win so far.
He already has a win,
well.
yeah,
Yes.
he does. Plenty of experience behind him as well, which could be crucial. So we now await the switch over. Let's have... Jason Muscat, my tyres hurt. Well, thanks for putting my prediction in doubt, Jason.
Tyres hurt. Also, I think it's something that we might have to change our minds on when we come to the formation lap, because of course we're going to have a bit of a split, I'm pretty certain, between option and prime tyres. I think it's something, a trend that we've seen over the last few races, and people just aren't listening to me and going for the primes, which is clearly the better option.
Yeah, yeah, you're going to keep pushing this. I want a vote. I want a democratic vote on this democracy vote. What am I talking about? We'll wait and see. I mean, you could be absolutely right. We could have another prime runner. Look, I guess what I want to see is half the competitive people on option strategies, half the competitive people on prime. Or, even better, the same person doing the same strategy, or different strategies, but we can't. Because we can't clone drivers. Or can we? Pleased to announce the GPVWC cloning facility. Now you can have two Sam Jones for the price of one.
Oh no, we don't want that. We're just going to have more carnage in the Formula Challenge field, aren't we?
Oh, don't put yourself down like that, son.
Well, let's see. Yesterday, crashed with my teammate. Yesterday, spun, and I think someone might have hit me. I can't remember now. Then spun in race 2 as well. So when I was on with a chance for points, my first points of the season. But of course, if you don't practice, you don't win. So guys at home, if you want to do well, have a no life, practice a lot. Definitely quit your job. That will certainly get you to become the next Sven de Vries.
Forget girlfriends, not worth it.
Definitely take up way too much time.
Yeah. Shopping and everything. Ugh. I'm not going to mention that I actually like shopping, but you know.
Hey,
Kevin Siggy.
shopping's not bad if you've got a lot to spend.
True. Very true.
That's all I'm going to say.
Are you
Shopping
asking
for
for
cars.
a raise or?
Shopping for cars.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
Anyway, you can't do it every week, but there you go.
Fancy a bit of Lamborghini shopping myself now. Anyway, Kevin Siggy has returned and we have moved into the warm-up. What am I talking about? The pre-race, the grid. That's what I was thinking of. The grid, there we are. So Hoekstra, Klont, front row. Very, very interesting to see that. Will it be either of these in that position by the end, though? We shall wait and see. It's Hoekstra from Klont, Zurich from Satellite, the front row. Francic, Muscat from row 2 with Router. P5 again. What can he do from there, I wonder? He's to be 7th, Siggy 8th, De Vries 9th. The two Simcrafts then follow, Van der Voort 10th and Malim 11th. Jordan 12th, Holmes in 13th. Junt 14th with Cap 15th, McNaughton 16th, Versailles 17th, Barclay 18th, Grech 19th, Butcher 20th with Richards 21st, Rouse 22nd, Choda 23rd, Yala 24th. So Choda actually fell back a lot, didn't he, from his early start in race 1. Fuller 25th, Guerrero 26th, and Tapper 27th. So we are missing one driver. I feel we're missing the second ST of Toad or Pangam, unfortunately. We'll call the Prime Compound Tyre option the main option, as you can go to the end on it. Option runners include pole sitter Wupke Hoekstra, Kevin Siggy in P8, you go Barclay all the way back in P18. We then have a cluster of them, P20 to 22nd, so Butcher, Richards and Rouse. And then the last of them is Fernando Guerrero on 26. So definitely the Prime Compound Tyre strategy, the more popular here today. Yep, the man on pole position is perhaps taking a bit of a risk himself.
Well, I can tell you that both Hoekstra and Siggy certainly won't be winning the race today.
You're that confident,
I am. I'm super confident. I know that it's just not the tyre to be on. I will say that Hoekstra, as long as he gets a good start, he will get a good gap between himself and the rest of the field. It'll take a couple of laps for the tyres to come in, but then he will start to move away, as he's really putting the heat into the fronts there, locking up into the final corner, final couple of corners. So he will definitely be able to pull away after a few laps if he gets the start that he wants. But Klont, this is going to be a good opportunity for him in second. But yeah, Muscat's looking good in fourth as well, isn't he? Greg Scheller in sixth, not bad place to start as well. And then we've got the big three after that. So it's literally all going to happen into turn one. I can't wait to see what is about to unveil here. Just pray that everyone gets a good start.
Good start in race 1. Hopefully we'll have more of the same today. Jones goes for Heasterbeek, I go for Muscat. Will we have a new winner here today? We shall wait and see as we look to the lights now. Last people just get into position. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And here for the second time in Istanbul Park, we are off and away. And it's a great start from Klont. Hoekstra. Oh, massive crash in the middle. Carnage in the middle there. It was Router, I believe, in contact. And there's one of the Simcrafts off there as well. Klont with a lightning start into the lead straight away. Hoekstra, he spun up the wheels, but manages to keep in second. Siggy with a great start up into fifth as well. And he's speaking because Scheller are fighting in the midfield. Capit with a lightning start as well. He's up into 10th. Matt Richards into Well, what an epic effort so far from the Welshman, Nico Barclay as well. He's shot off like a rocket up into P13. I see, oh, who is that? Who's the Simcraft in danger? Or are both of them caught out, I wonder?
Yeah, okay, so just to give you an update on the start, as we see Hoystra actually and Clont
let's have a
going
look
side
here.
by side
The
through
Vanderbilt's
turn
missing
8.
a front bump.
Yeah, turn 8
Yep.
through
Yep.
for the leaders, so Clont's holding on, but
Whoa!
Hoystra
Oh,
around the
around the
outside.
outside!
But he's got a bit wide
Oh,
there.
my word.
And side by
It's
side
very
coming.
close, isn't it?
Yeah, side by side coming into this chicane. Hoystra is surely going to hold on. He'll get the traction now coming out this corner. This is where he's really got to start to pull away because Clont, I'm thinking he'll have decent wings on him, so he'll surely be able to catch up coming down through turn 11 over the brow of the hill. What's going to happen? It's a big gap between themselves and the guys behind him. We've got Clont on the outside, brakes, but I think he thinks better of it and he decides to settle back into second position.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a little bit of a scare for Hoekstra, but he's got it back now. So going across the line, it's Hoekstra from Clont. Must get that Siggy on the option. Francic, De Vries, Heespeak, Richards up into 8th, but remember he's on the option as well. Cabin tonight and Dennis Jordan rounds out the top 10 as Kevin Siggy dives past Jason Muscat, the Austrian now up into P3.
Yeah, great stuff by Siggy on the option tyres, of course, so that's good for him. He's going to have to defend into turn 3, but he surely should be able to hold on here. Muscat's going to just run out of road a little bit. Yeah, he holds on. Just to quickly update you about that start, so Router had a terrible start. He just lit up the rear tyres and it couldn't get any traction at all. The car's going from side to side. And unfortunately, Tom van der Voort in the Simcraft had a great start and ended up hitting him in the back. There was nowhere for van der Voort to go, really. And that spun Router around into the inside pit wall. And unfortunately, the Simcraft teammate of Melin was right there to collect Router. And it's basically ruined both the Simcraft boys' race. So very
All three are out.
Yeah, unfortunate for all three of them, really.
I know how that feels to be taken out the early stages of a other thing is De Vries is off the track. Oh dear, and De Vries, who had a decent start, he's a bit quiet. He's going to be all over. We're taken by Jonathan Holmes there, so De Vries down to 12th. I'm sorry, my connection's all over the place again. I apologise. Yeah, an odd mistake from De Vries actually. Is behind. There's a right scrap. It's all over the place for me, sorry.
Yeah, no worry, James. We'll just take a look through the field, and Clont is having to defend now from Siggy. This is for second place, so Siggy's going around the outside into turn 1. Can he keep it on the track? No, he's gone off it, and Clont's got sideways. Just holds on to it, though. Siggy's up into second. Option, prime option at the moment.
Yeah, I was close to think Clont didn't get much room from Siggy. Away now, that's what they have to do. Meanwhile, Francic 4th, look at him there. He's got Muscat, Heespeak, and Richards. Remember, Richards on the option. He's going to be causing trouble for these guys, causing a bit of bother. Surely he'll have to go. Capit 8th, Gashella 9th, Jordan 10th, De Vries now into 11th, back past Holmes, Norton 13th, Barclay still 14th. And Adam Rouse currently rounding out the top 15 on the option tyres as well. So a real mix of strategies early on the races. Lap 3 of 19. Only the 3 retirements so far, thankfully.
Yep, and all from that first lap as well. Very disappointing for them. But look at this, Francic in 4th place. So he's had a decent start, but he's having to defend now from Muscat, Heespeak, and Matt Richards. So that's incredible by Matt Richards to be in 7th right now. Francic goes slightly defensive, but Muscat hasn't really got the straight line speed to really make any effect on him. As behind him, Heespeak and Richards are side by side. Richards is up the inside of Heespeak, but Heespeak is going to get the better line for this final turn 14. And Richard, oh, he just lights up the tyres.
Oh my word!
Yeah.
Flying.
Yeah, certainly a few bumps.
Sorry, what's it, Hunt and Francic? Francic trying to attack Clont here, and Clont's all under all sorts of pressure.
It looks like
I don't know what's happened. Yeah, this is net lead. Good one from Haxton, and Francic takes it. Clont's on the outside of turn 4, also very close. Just about holding on. I'm not sure what happened to Clont, though. It looked like he lost a load of time as Francic goes for the cut back. Oh, and a slip from Clont, and Francic has it.
Yeah, Clont is not liking these tyres as Muscat goes up the inside of him now. So Muscat takes that position away. He's into 4th, but Clont's going to get the cutback himself. retakes the position, and they're all still right behind Francic. So Francic hasn't been able to get away here at all. This is such a big battle. Matt Richards is back onto the back of this battle as well, so that's good for him. Klont's having to go up the inside of Francic into this chicane. Oh, there's contact! There's huge contact!
Oh,
Look at Matt
Richards.
Richards!
He's going to try a bit of rally crossing from Matt Richards in a Formula car. You don't want to try that. Either way, surely damage for all three of those guys. As Richards going up the inside, they're not going to go 4 wide, surely. Look at that. He needs to be trying up the inside as well. Matt Richards squeezes through. And he's got him, I think. Again, it's all over the place for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, look at that. Matt Richards up into 4th, so that's important for him. He's now got to get past Francic, who's actually made such a good effort of clearing these guys after that contact. And he speaks up the inside of Klont. Klont is certainly the guy that's holding everyone up at the moment. So he gets around him, coming out of 2. Get jealous the next guy to try and attack Klont. Klont's really starting to struggle. I'm sure he's feeling this, having to try and defend corner after corner, lap after lap. Easterbeek, though, also not being able to get away just yet. So Klont's got decent grip around some of these corners with the wings. He's definitely running higher wings than some of his competitors. He just needs to perhaps calm down on the accelerator a little bit. See if he can get back into a rhythm, because he's certainly got the pace to be running with these guys. There's no doubt about that. Meanwhile, Francic has got Richards closed in on him, Muscat as well. So Francic isn't going to get away from these guys that easily. As Klont is holding on to the back of Easterbeek, though it's not too bad for the satellite racing driver here.
It's a solid effort, isn't it? What was the pit stop time? Was it 19 seconds or so, wasn't it? So, 19 seconds is a gap that once from Francic, coming 7.5. I think Hooksham might be able to do this, actually, you know. If not for the win, then definitely a podium.
Well, at the moment, Hookster is managing to do 31.4 as his previous lap. He's been a bit sporadic with his lap times, but they are starting to improve a little bit. And Siggy's definitely faster than him as well, doing consistent 31.2s. Meanwhile, Francic is in the 33, well, about 33s really. So it's about 1.8 seconds between himself and Francic. Is actually going to surely lose out here between him and Richards. He really squeezes Richards going into turn 7. Francic holds on to the position, but only for the moment. This is surely going to be a change of position considering the difference in the tyres. And there we go through turn 8. Richards just slips it up the inside and takes 3rd position now for TSA Racing. Although he's actually just gone and lost it again, has he? No, he's gone and held it around the outside.
No, he's got it.
Yeah, good traction there by Richards. So yeah, it's about 1.8 seconds per lap. It'd take about 10 laps then, or less than 10 laps now. Probably looking at about 9 more laps to be able to get that gap out. It's going to be difficult, but it could be possible to, you know, catch back up once they pit as well, because they'll have fresh tyres and much faster tyres for the rest of the race.
Let's have a look at how our other option runners are doing then. So, really, it's just Rouse and Barclay in the points, isn't it? But they're sort of mired down. Remember, it was Rouse and Barclay making their way up through the field in Portugal as well, wasn't it? And Rouse went on to score points, if I remember correctly. With Barclay disconnecting.
Oh, Siggy's just taken the lead of the race. Something's happened here. I didn't quite catch it. So Siggy has now taken the lead of the race. It looked like it was going into turn 7. I think he just got up the inside. Yeah, he did. So good move by Siggy. Textbook move there. But he now takes the lead of the race for the option compound runners. He will be pitting in about 4 or 5, no, probably 4 laps time, I'd have to say. But that is the lead for him at the moment nonetheless, and he's definitely the quickest guy out there at the moment, and that is important for him. I reckon if he can make up a little bit more time, he could get out into the top 10 when he makes his pit stop eventually, especially with the likes of Klont really losing pace at the moment because he's having to defend so much from Gekshele and De Vries behind as they go 3 wide down the straight, coming into turn 12. Who's going to get the better line? It looks like De Vries all the way on the outside is going to get the better line. No, he just has to sneak back in, and Klont has managed to hold them all off. That's incredible defending.
Brilliant defending. Brilliant. I'm also just... I was thinking of a point, now I've lost it. Don't worry. Yeah, very good defending from Klont, especially... Well, not Klont, sorry, from Muscat. Whatever. I'm lost. My connection's dying, so I'm trying my best to keep an eye on sort of strategies here. I'm just thinking, with the option compound tyre, we know it can go longer than 3 or 4 laps from this point, though. We know that it can stretch to maybe 15 at maximum. At least that's what Siggy brought it out to. So it might actually be worth running full option tyre run and then going on to lovely fresh rubber with super low fuel at the end.
Yeah, it depends really when the tyres start wearing out. I mean, if your tyres aren't wearing out, keep on going. But of course, there must be a crossover point where the newer options are better than the older options. These guys know more than I do. That's certainly for sure. As Frančić, yeah, I don't know if you're looking at this, James, but Frančić is still defending very, very heavily for this 4th position at the moment. And it's really a case of him versus me versus you for our picks, of course.
Yes, indeed. This is essentially for the net lead of the race, so very important stuff here. Frančić, very much the wild card, has not won a race here at GPVWC, and Muscat and Heespeak are going to try and keep it that way, as Muscat now takes the net lead to P4. He goes behind. Look at this scrap going on. We have the 2 option runners of Rouse and Barclay. They're causing all sorts of trouble for these midfield prime runners, as Barclay going around the outside of Capit there to take 11th. Rouse up into 8th, though. He has traversed this traffic, in inverted commas, incredibly well. Though he's still got a long way to go to score points, I'd imagine, surely.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult considering he's 15 seconds behind the top 2, which are the guys that are really in the optimum position right now, because they would definitely come out in 13th and 14th position if they were to pit right now. That's still a lot of work that they're going to have to do. But look at this. You'd say that De Vries has not had a good race, but he's actually only 3 seconds behind Jason Muscat, who's effectively going to become the leader of this race soon enough. So it's still there for De Vries, and he is starting to perhaps get away from these guys a little bit. Of course, Rouse is probably going to come through on the option tyres as well, as Heespeak has got past Frančić as well. So Heespeak moves up to 2nd, and we'll see what he can do now as he's actually having to defend, because Frančić has got amazing straight line speed. Look at that. He's cleared Heespeak before the turn 12. Great effort.
That's excellent from Frančić. He knew what setup he was going for. So, lap 10 of 19. We're past halfway. Siggy leads by 1.5 from Hooksha, who is a full 10 seconds ahead of Matt Richards. Remember, the gap we're looking for is 19 seconds. So currently, if Siggy was to pit, he would come out in around P13 or so. Around P13, probably P12. So around Risto Capit. That said, though, we saw Siggy keep his tyres alive for about 15 seconds. Oh, Barclay's round, I see, at turn 5. Apologies for that, everyone. Jason Muscat, though, surely he's going to be in the best position. He's 14 seconds off Siggy at the moment. He's not losing enough time so that Siggy will have that 19-second buffer to him. I know that Siggy will be on the option tyres again, though. Frančić is causing issues for Heespeak. Is it Muscat's race to lose or to win?
I think it's his to lose right now, because he's got a bit of a gap between himself and Frančić. Yes, Frančić is going to catch him up down the straights, but he's got nothing compared to Muscat around the corners. And as long as Easterby can't get past Frančić, as Frančić is actually looking over the inside of Muscat, this is incredible straight line speed here. Absolutely incredible by the Waters Automotive driver, and he's actually going to get the inside for turn 14, but no, he can't get it done. And
Richards in!
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off there, but Richards is in less than 19 seconds. That should put him back 32 seconds. That should drop him in about P18. So he's going to be near to points at least, Richards. I think he's on for them at least. But a very early stop, and as the battle for the net lead still heats up, Muscat now 15.9 seconds away from the lead. I tell you what, I do reckon Siggy might actually be the most likely guy to win this race at the moment.
I think for
considering
Siggy,
everything, you know.
Yeah, definitely. But I think for Siggy, what he needs to do is he needs to stay out for as long as possible, because the more time he can make now means that the less time that he has to spend trying to overtake people, because he'll have less and less people to overtake once he comes back out of the pits, because of course he's still gaining quite a bit of time over the guy behind him. He's doing low 31s every single lap. He actually managed to dip in the high 30s. That's the kind of pace that he's running. And the likes of Muscat is still 2 seconds slower per lap, sometimes a bit better. I think this will be a good lap for Muscat actually, because he's had a bit more clear air in front of him. But Siggy definitely just needs to stay out for as long as he possibly can, whilst retaining this pace. And I think, yeah, perhaps could have a chance.
Hoekstra's in. And by my calculations, he should come out in the top 10. As everyone's still battling away. Here comes Muscat now. I reckon these guys should jump Hoekstra. Hoekstra back out onto the option compound, of course. So Muscat heads up into second, and there's a lot of people. Here's Rouse as well. Rouse up into P5. Just overtaking. Oh! Contact with Frančić. Rouse a little bit zealous there. And, he's going to cause a Croatian damage, I'm sure. So Muscat into second. Rouse causing trouble for Frančić and Easterby behind. Hoekstra out into 8th position on the options. And he is not too far behind this battle either. So it's ball firmly in Kevin Siggy's court as Jonathan Holmes has also retired.
Yeah, he certainly has. Looks like he had an accident. This is good for Siggy. This is very, very good considering where Hoekstra's managed to get out. He's going to take a little bit of time because he's getting the heat back into his tyres, but Hoekstra has got a good chance of overtaking quite a few guys in front of him right here and right now. Muscat might just be able to scamper away with this one though, but it really will be depending on where Siggy comes out when he pits, and he set his fastest lap of the race in the last lap, so these tyres still aren't going off. Does he stay out? Oh no, look at that late entry. He really thought about staying out for another lap, but he's decided to take to the pits, and this is going to be big where he comes out right now.
I think he could come out in P2. I mean, Rouse, look at this. Rouse is now past. Rouse could lead. No, is Rouse going to come in actually? Rouse, he stays out. This is so interesting. Siggy's on the move. Here comes Jason Muscat. Oh, is Siggy going to jump him?
I think he is.
No, Kevin Siggy. Oh, Kevin Siggy.
He's playing the blinder.
Unbelievable. He's come out on the option tyre in the lead of the race. Game, set, match.
I can't believe it. I've been proved wrong. What's going on?
Told you. I knew someone would do this strategy one day, and it's worked. I mean, there's been a lot that's gone Kevin's way, to be fair. The option runners of Rouse, Barclay, Richards, they cause havoc for the guys. I mean, look, Rouse has now overtaken Muscat as well, so that's going to be further causing Muscat grief. But I know Muscat's losing fuel now, but he's also losing tyres. And as far as I'm concerned, Kevin Siggy's just been left to run away at this point.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I think when Siggy, well, fingers crossed, nothing bad happens, when he wins this race, he needs to go to Frančić and he needs to say, Frančić, I just want to thank you so much for running such low wings, because Frančić has not had the pace through the middle sector at all, but he's held people up so well because he's got such a good setup in terms of being able to defend, because he pulls away from the guys behind him. And it's so difficult for them to overtake, and that has been crucial because, yes, Muscat got past, but it took him so long.
On. Sorry, Rouse just clattered into Muscat around turn 12, and there's causing guys ahead of you an issue, and then there's actually just running into them. And yeah, Rouse, yeah, look at that now. 2 seconds to lead to Siggy. This makes me think, where's Hoekstra? Hoekstra's in P7. He's 4.7 seconds off the lead. I think he could be on for second here at this point.
It's going to depend on how well he can clear the guys in front of him. That's going to be the interesting point. I don't know what his abilities are like in racecraft and overtaking, but we're certainly going to find out in a couple of laps' time. That's for certain.
So you order as you are. Lap 14 of 19. It could all change, of course. Siggy from Muscat. Rouse in third. Has to pit. Francic. Easterbeek, De Vries. Hoekstra has pitted. Gashella, Capit, Clont. Jordan, Cullen, McNaughton, Verzile, Tapper. Though Tapper's very closely being hounded by Matt Richards, who has pitted on the option tyre. I think Matt Richards should be on for at least a couple of points here today. Or maybe not, actually. He's miles away from 13th, though he dives in for... he dives down... actually, no, he could be in for a couple of points. Verzile not too far up the field. So, yeah, I think the option tyre working much better than previous races, it must be said, because the prime tyre was the one to go for in the likes of Spain and Portugal, of course.
Yeah, the prime tyre just looks so incredibly slow here. It doesn't seem to be picking up the pace at all. I mean, and yes, guys that should be able to find the pace on the tyre are certainly mired back in the traffic. But, yeah, the option has worked out today. There's no doubt about that at all.
Rouse in 19 seconds, that should be 22. So Rouse should come back out in P14, actually.
No points for him, that's good as he looks something inside of Francic going into one. And Francic just holds his own, keeps the momentum through the corner and holds off Easterbeek once again. I think Easterbeek's going to be sick of looking at Francic by the end of this race.
But look at Hoekstra. Hoekstra's just gotten past De Vries.
And look who's right in front of him. It's not going to take him long, is it? It's not going to take him long at all.
And you go, a little bit of a lighter from the tyres for Hoekstra. This is probably the most important battle on the field now, because, as I say, Hoekstra could potentially get a second place here, as De Vries looks up the inside of Hoekstra. Nothing doing, though. He's on the better tyres. And I guess it's just about Hoekstra being patient in some respects. It's that 15 and 19. I know time's running out, but he can see the podium right ahead of him.
He certainly can, and I think he's already got a chance here coming into the chicane. He's going to look up the inside of Easterbeek. He'd be wise not to. Just get a good run through these corners now, because Easterbeek's not got the best wings, unlike Francic ahead of him, who really does. But look at that, Francic is really going to have to defend this time around, because Easterbeek is right there. No, Francic is not going to defend. He clearly doesn't want to.
Ooh, and he holds up everything, doesn't he? So Easterbeek into third, Francic fourth, Hoekstra fifth, and contact between Hoekstra and De Vries. I'm not sure whether that was Hoekstra going out too wide or De Vries coming in too much. Either way, Hoekstra's made a right mess of the last corner. And will De Vries have a little look to the inside? Francic is looking to the outside of Easterbeek. Nothing doing, though. We've also had Sandeep Choda retire on lap 12 of 19 in the Fox Racing car. Shame for him, he was looking good for points. As, where did Rouse come out? Rouse is there in 16th, sorry. So he can see points. Matt Richards up into 14th. There's the battle between Francic and Easterbeek still going on. Easterbeek just about holding off, and Hoekstra now really right on the gearbox. And oh wow, what a save from Hoekstra. He's a bit, he's under pressure, isn't he? He knows he can get a great result here, but he's got to keep his head calm.
He's under no pressure at all, because he knows he's
get a podium.
No, but he's got the faster car. He's got the faster tyres, so he knows that he can pass these guys. He just needs to calm down and take his time over it, because if he just takes a normal line through, say, this corner here, then he'll have the run on the guys because of the traction that he'll get out the corner, and he'll be able to get past them. But he just needs to calm down and stop lighting up the tyres. That's what he's doing at the moment. It's really affecting his race.
Triple slipstream. Here we go. Francic with his mega wings. Oh my word! It's like a dance formation out there. Francic holds on, send De Vries around the outside of Easterbeek. Francic goes wide though, and Easterbeek takes all of them. Hoekstra there on the inside, trying to get all of them as well. Oh, Hoekstra, come on. And Gajella's through, and I think, yeah, that's pressure. I'm sorry. That's just lack of experience and pressure. It doesn't matter if you've got the fastest car, if you mess it up like that, then you throw away podiums. And I think he's got damage from that as well, Hoekstra.
Yeah,
So he might just have to settle for a mid-position here.
It was certainly one of those wheel-to-wheel contacts that really takes a pounding on the car. and he's just getting a bit too desperate, really wants to get past these guys, and these guys aren't idiots. They're very clever. They know what they're doing when they race, and they know exactly where to plant the car to defend. They're all top class drivers here. So Huckster, he's still got an opportunity though, because he's still there or thereabouts, but definitely in terms of second, that's out the window. It's too far away, and Heasterbeek is surely going to start pulling away now, as will Sven de Vries, I think, as well. Considering they've all managed to get past Frančić eventually. It's taken pretty much the entire race, but they've finally done it.
Dethroned. One problem with lower wings is that you have more tyre wear, especially around a circuit like this, and now Gashela's all over the back of the Croatian, who's done a stand-up job, to be fair. You've got to give the guy credit, being epic so far up there at the front, really showing class. He's only got half a season to his credit, and he's going to try and go and have a look at Sven de Vries as well around the outside. Can't do anything. De Vries has been in this position many times before already in race one. He holds on nicely. Got to be careful though, as I say, Gashela right there. He's going to want to pick up more points for Storm.
Yeah, certainly. Very good job by Frančić, because he hasn't done anything too out of the way, and held his own when he's been the one under pressure, because he's had the guys behind him that have been attacking him corner after corner. He hasn't really had a lap where he's been able to take a breather, so he's done an excellent job of not really making a major mistake, and that's good quality driving right there, as he's still in the top 5. That's a very, very good result if he can hold on to it, but it's going to be
He's struggling,
a bit of a
isn't
struggle. Yeah.
And especially with Huckster there behind him as well. And Huckster's now really, he's just cruising up to the back of Gashela and Frančić, whether damage or no damage on board. He's figured out the balance. So look at this, Huckster looking around the outside of Gashela at turn 8. Looks a bit skittish actually, Huckster, it must be said. His setup looks a little bit, not too sure about itself. But, is he going to have a look to Gashela on the inside of turn 9? He'll have a little stab, won't he? Nothing doing though. And I think he's got to follow your little bit of advice there, Sam. Just, hold back, take a nice line through there, and then you'll get a nice slipstream. Simple.
Yeah, because he's lost all that time now, and he's lost all the slipstream, and he won't get that back, and he'll have to wait another lap, and another lap is something that you don't really have in a sprint race. It's more of a case of getting it done as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible, as Gashela has just done, get past Frančić, so he moves into 5th place now. So after a troubled start by Gashela, he's actually done fairly well in this race too, once again showing that he certainly prefers the sprint race over the main feature race.
I'll tell you what, someone who will be preferring the sprint race though as well is the man up front, currently leading by 9 seconds now. Kevin Siggy. He just called the strategy right and had a lot of luck on his side as well.
He certainly did, and look at Ruud Heasterbeek, because he is incredibly fast at the moment. He's so much faster than Muscat, who's already having to defend into turn 7. So here we come up the hill into turn 7. Heasterbeek's going to try and get the cutback, and now they have the outside for turn 8. They're going to go out around the outside of turn 8, side by side through turn 8. And, well, Muscat just manages to hold on. But this battle is not going to be over, because Ruud Heasterbeek is way, way faster.
De Vries in the background as well. So we're going to come down to turn 12. I fear, though, that we're going to be looking up the front soon enough. Oh, I think Muscat's had a bit of a skittish exit off of turn 10 there. Heasterbeek down the inside, and that should be game, set, match. Round turn 11 we go. Muscat's got the better wings, though, I think, for this particular section. Just going to keep an eye on turn 12 here. No, we've got to look back to leader. Let's look to Kevin Siggy there. He called the strategy rise. He had luck on his side. And he takes his first race win of the season. Back to P2, though. Heasterbeek's got Muscat. He's got him. And, yeah, game, set, and match for that position as well. Heasterbeek takes second. Muscat third. De Vries fourth. Emmanuel Gashela fifth. Huckster sixth after an epic defensive effort. Frančić comes home seventh. Well deserved. Capit eighth. Cullen ninth. Clont 10th. Jordan 11th. McNaughton 12th, Matt Richards after an aggressive strategy as well comes home P13, Roy Verzile comes home 14th, and Adam Rouse also on the option compound tyre strategy takes the final point. Your retirements were Pedro Melim, Tom van der Voort, Marcel Router, Jonathan Holmes and Sandeep Chota.
Yeah, Ruud Heasterbeek came into turn 12 and on the outside of Muscat, just broke later and then got great traction coming out of 12, so he had the perfect line for 13 as well and completely cleared Muscat. And I think that's really what Muscat had preluded to before this race that his tyres weren't really going to be able to hold up, and they certainly didn't look like they did right at the end of the race, because the rate in which Heesbeek and De Vries caught up with him was not all down to pace. Muscat is not that slow. He's a very good driver, and unfortunately it looks like the tyres just had enough, and he still managed to hold on to third. Probably wouldn't if we had one lap more, but a good result for the top three. I think Heesbeek can be very proud of his second place. It's another good podium result for him. Very strong for him in the championship. I don't know what the points are going to be looking like, but I know for a fact it's going to be close between him and De Vries after the 2 rounds we've had here today.
Yeah, indeed. Hopefully we'll have a couple of people in for interviews. I think Heesbeek should comfortably still be in the lead. But overall, great racing. You know, a few moments, and of course we didn't quite like the start of race 2. It seemed more like an unfortunate slow start meets fast start situation. But then again, you can't complain. Istanbul Park, it deserves its place on the calendar.
It certainly does. I think I've alluded to it before that I absolutely love the track. It's a great track, and certainly best Tilke design track that I've ever had the pleasure of running on. And even in real life in Formula 1, it always created absolutely fantastic racing. So I'm going to say that this is something that we need to keep on year after year. I don't see any reason why we should take it off the calendar, and I hope we will see it for the rest of the GPVWC future, the future of GPVWC, because it's just created some of the best racing we've seen all season. Of course, it's easy to forget all the amazing races that we've had so far this year. We've had so much action in every single race. It just gets better and better, does the Supercup. And it's great to see that we've got a tight championship battle as well.
Indeed. Okay, so we do have one interview at least. Let's keep us company. Kevin Siggy. Well, you called the strategy absolutely right in race 2. Was that always planned, or was it a late call to go into the option strategy?
I was a little bit shocked when Sven went to Primes, which was a little bit of a gamble for me then, because I was thinking like 15 minutes what to do, options or Primes, and I was so nervous, so I just went for options and hoped for the best, and it went pretty well, just jumping people by one stop. I mean, it was brilliant, and that's it, yes.
Now, I know you've got plans post Monaco, but are you enjoying yourself in the Super Cup a little bit more from this? Has it changed your mind on many things?
Nope, it
Nope.
didn't. No, it didn't. I mean, it was really fun to fight with Sven. He's a very, very good fighter. Like, much respect for him. For the others, if I get into the mid pack, I'm pretty much dead. I have to be very careful with guys because they are a bit aggressive, and that doesn't keep me motivated to do more rounds. But I think this round may give me the motivation, but I don't know. It's still, I'm thinking about it.
Well, the Super Cup field will miss you if you do eventually decide to retire early, but a race win is something nice to go away with, and well done on that, Kev.
Thank you.
And now we'll bring in Mr. Sven de Vries as well. Now, Sven, while I still have Kevin here, of course, actually, must be said that race 1 was that final lap. I don't think I've commentated on anything more exciting than that. It was epic until the end. Such great racing between the two of you, and even a few laps before when Kev made that mistake into you, Sven. Great sportsmanship shown between the two of them. Would you say that's probably on the top 5 of your list of battles here at the league?
Oh yeah, I was probably more excited than you were. It was those were some really awesome final laps. Obviously, I knew Kevin was a lot faster in the straight, so I knew it was going to be tricky on the last end, but managed to hold on, and very happy to win a race again. It's been a while, so it was about time. But yeah, it was awesome.
You've of course got Rude though, doing very well as well, and I believe he's actually extended the gap to you, thanks to his good performance in race 3, of course. What are you thinking of this championship battle? Because I know you plan to go to the end at least with the lack of automatic promotion. Do you think you can get this guy?
Yeah, I think today I was the better one out there. I think I actually gained a few points in him. I got first and fourth. He got second and third, I want to say. So I think it's a few more points in the bag for me. So it's close.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah, fair enough.
For this race, I prepared a lot more. I actually had a good setup this time. I'd been struggling with setups the past few races, and it all seemed to fall together here. Fortunately, I had a little problem in race 2 where I had to avoid somebody ahead of me, so lost about 6 seconds there. And then there were just so many cars battling with each other that the guys on the soft tires definitely had the upper hand. So too bad he caught Jason in the end, and I didn't. I think another lap would have been good for me, but yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting championship for the both of us, and definitely Siggy seems to be in shape too. So who knows?
Who knows indeed. Well done on your wins, Sven, and good luck with the championship to come. Because of course, Sam, 2 weeks' time, we're heading to the Principality, Mr. Monaco.
Yeah, and if we saw some drama today, we're more than likely to see drama in 2 weeks' time, aren't we? Because Monaco is just an absolute wild card. There's nothing like it. Definitely nothing like it on the calendar. I think we'll see more drivers do well that perhaps we don't usually see do well. And it's going to be a difficult one. It's certainly a difficult race, probably the most difficult on the calendar. But I'm sure everyone's looking forward to the events that are going to unfold in all of the 3 career ladder races in Monaco. So I'll certainly be there as a driver, probably not doing that well. I'll certainly be looking forward to Supercup in 2 weeks' time because it's going to be an absolutely monumental battle.
Of course, if you're interested in more action, then make sure to tune in tomorrow night around the same time for the Turkish Grand Prix. Then return with us next week for the independent section of the league. We have the International Touring Cup in Finland on the Monday. We go to the Principality with the World Sports Series on the Wednesday. And though I won't be commentating it on it, unfortunately, World GT returns next Thursday as well, heading to Interlagos and R Factor 2. And then we return to the career ladder the week after. Tuesday, of course, Open Series and Formula Challenge around Monaco, and then the Monaco Super Cup round will be on the Wednesday. I'd just like to take these final moments to thank my broadcast team once again. Ben Hackerson on the cameras, always scouting out the moves which I can't see, and which was my co-commentator. Lovely once again, Sam Jones can't see. My name's James Kirk, and from all of us here, it's a very warm goodbye.